Yeah, I'm trying your
twitch.tv
stream.
slash
Yep,
Captain
Captain Meme.
Meme. Yep.
Yeah, we're live.
Yay!
You're out there.
Alright, so if you're watching this live on Twitch, I'm impressed because I didn't announce this beforehand or anything. This is completely out of the blue. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm expecting more people to be watching on YouTube. I hope you enjoy this. This is going to be an analysis of the top board at the final of the World Diplomacy Championships 2018, which was in Washington, D.C., and which happened yesterday as of recording this. And with me I've got Ezio, who is also a very good diplomacy player.
Yeah, that mantle, but I'll take it.
You don't sound so confident there. Well, we will, but yes, so we're going to be going through each year, examining what we can see from the board. Bear in mind we can't see any of the negotiation, so we can't give you insight on that, but we can say what we think the players were thinking at the
We
time.
also don't know who is playing each country, so we can't give any meta-analysis, which
Yeah,
is relatively important for these types of games.
yeah. So this is the slight issue. In order to keep this as how can I say as if it were live, we've both avoided spoilers up to this point. Except Ezio was, I guess, checking on diplomacy sites and saw the
I
name of
was
the winner.
checking on Facebook, and
Yeah,
they said congratulations to the person who won,
yeah,
but I don't know which country he was playing, and so to avoid knowing the end result, I didn't learn the names of any of the countries or who was playing who.
yes. So we don't know who's playing each country. We'll refer to them as the country names here. In the video description, when it goes up on YouTube, I will write down who was playing each country in the description. But for now, you don't really need to know that. It's a bit of an additional info if you're watching it on YouTube. I also won't be reading the Twitch chat, I'm afraid, because I'm using display view here, and I've only got one monitor, so I can't really have that up at the same time. If you want the stream to not look like an infinite version of itself. Anyway, so have you got the 1901 board up?
Yeah, I have the spring moves
Yep.
available.
Alright, so here we are in spring 1901, and at least to me, it looks like an extremely standard spring 1901.
Yeah,
There is,
really the only interesting moves I think are the French support into Burgundy and the Italian move into
yes.
Trieste.
So the Italian one was the one I wanted to look at immediately as well. The Trieste move is the only one that strikes me as particularly interesting on the board. The French move, I guess it's kind of interesting, but it's also like the most common opening in Gunboat, so I see it a lot.
Yeah, but Gunboat's not exactly full press,
That's true.
uh, but it's a relatively full press opening still.
Yeah.
But at the end, the Italian one is more odd. Normally, you would see the Rome move to Venice when attacking Trieste. The move to Apulia is really neat because it leaves the option for a Kiloponto variant to come up. Um, and without seeing all the negotiations, I have no idea what's coming or not.
Yes. So I should be clear as well here. This stream is not entirely for professionals, so we may need to explain things like Kilopanto as it's coming up.
All right,
Kilopanto.
do you wanna take the honors of that one?
Sure, I'll take the Kilopanto. Kilopanto is my favorite opening in the game, which
Is it
is
really?
yes.
You're a madman.
I
As Austria or as Italy?
as Austria actually. I've done it successfully as Austria before, but the idea is you have this Venetian army attack Trieste in 1901. It's pretty much exactly the same as they've opened here, except occasionally with Budapest or Romania instead. The main idea behind it is that instead of staying in Trieste, the Italian army comes through into Serbia in the autumn turn, meaning that Austria doesn't lose that centre, and hopefully, if people don't know about the Kilopanto, you've tricked Russia and Turkey into thinking that you and Italy, or you and Austria, depending on which one you're playing, were at war for the first turn. And then suddenly the Italian army emerges on the front line and you've got a full line against them. Hopefully they've decided, you know, let's attack each other because clearly There's no reason not to. This is where it kind of falls apart in a proper game because quite often, if Austria looks weak, Russia and Turkey will just jump on them. Uh, but yeah, this
So where
is
does the Italian army move to?
so the Italian army
Move into
goes.
Trieste, and then it emerges onto the front lines. But you neglected to say
Yes,
the
it goes
country.
out into Serbia. So the
And this is one of the weaknesses with the Key Lepanto, because in every Turkish opening, Turkey ends up with an army in Bulgaria. And if you look at the board, there's no way with the Austrian army in Serbia for the move from Trieste to Serbia to succeed if Turkey moves from Bulgaria into Serbia. Because they would both move to Serbia, and then the Italian army would bounce back into Trieste, capturing the center. And so, as Turkey, if you're unsure whether or not there's a Kila Ponto coming up, it is very common to move into Serbia from Bulgaria. That move is not likely to do much good unless there's a Kila Ponto coming, in which case it blows the whole alliance up from the get go.
Yep. So that's the major issue, and in a high level game, you'll see it a lot. Turkey attacking Serbia there just in case. Right? The Kilopanto is not an alliance that's played very often, but when it is played, it can be devastating to Turkey and Russia if
What
they
makes it
haven't
so
reacted to
devastating?
it. In my opinion, it's when Italy does it properly, says, I'll take the build from Serbia instead of the build from Tunis, because at low level, Kilopantos, quite often you see Italy deciding, okay, this is a way for me to get two builds, right? If Italy takes the one build from Serbia and instead sends their fleet into the Aegean or into the Eastern Mediterranean, gets that huge momentum leap against Turkey, and Austria, Italy have this line of armies against Russia, Turkey at the same time, it can be absolutely devastating for Turkey. There's
Absolutely. I found the most powerful continuation to have the end of the spring 1901 be very similar to this. Ideally, you would want to get Vienna into Budapest, find a way to demilitarize Galicia, because then you could support from Trieste into Serbia with Budapest.
absolutely
And this
yes.
gives you a large degree of security in the alliance. The fact that Austria bounced in Galicia makes me think it is much less likely there's actually a Kiloponto here, and makes me think this is more likely Italy going off on his own.
Yes. So if let's assume that it's Italy going off on its own now, what do you expect this to? What
I
do you expect
expect
to happen here?
I expect the Turkey-Russia alliance to go and munch Austria's centers into the dirt unless Austria can convince Italy to leave with Trieste alone. Say you can have Trieste, I can't stop you, but if we go to war, we're both going to lose. So take Trieste and then go west.
Yeah, I'd agree. The Austria's a sort of it's a really horrible nation to play in high level games in some respects because of this whole thing. If Italy attacks you from the start, there's not really a huge amount you can do. You can try and negotiate, but quite often that's just the end for you, right? You can just try and hang on and survive, but in this game at a top board, you're looking to get the most centers out of everyone, and if you've suffered that kind of a setback at the start, it's just impossible to come back or
Yeah,
near
absolutely.
impossible.
So do you want to talk about the west at all, or do you want to just move on to the next turn in the interest
Let's
of
talk
time?
about the West. Let's very quickly, like, we haven't got a huge amount to talk about up here. Very standard openings from Russia. We will have one interesting thing in seeing whether Sweden is bounced or Russia gets let into Sweden in the fall
Yeah.
term. Uh,
I tend to see that when there's a DMZ in the English Channel and France supports himself into Burgundy, I tend to see them get let into Sweden more.
yes, because Germany is thinking we might have an England France alliance here. I need someone on my side if that happens.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
and by bounce, and the move to the Norwegian Sea is frequently viewed as an anti-Russia move because it gives England more fleets in the north.
yeah.
I'm not sure I agree with that
It,
because it's just the most effective move for France or for England to get two builds in 1901. Um, and it's not, and you could easily see taking Norway with from Edinburgh, but it does lead to some variations. I'm just not sure I agree with most people who say that it's an anti-Russia move, but
yeah,
some Russias certainly do, and they might be more interested in allying with Germany if they think that's the case.
yeah. I think as England, you've only really got two choices with your fleets. You can either go Norwegian and North, or North and English Channel. I mean, you could split Norwegian and English Channel, but that's for people who are looking to mess up people's stats, who are
Mostly.
making the tables of what's the most common England opening. uh, but yeah, it's a move like this is seen as anti-Russian, but I don't think it's quite as anti-Russian as if Liverpool had gone to Edinburgh or something like that.
I still don't even. I was actually going to talk about that, but I don't think that's irrelevant at all.
All right,
The move to Edinburgh is just better than the move to Yorkshire.
it's
The
not.
only case is if France moves into the English Channel, where you'd rather have an army in Yorkshire than Edinburgh, and in every single other case, um, England would rather have his army in Edinburgh because it just gives more options.
It gives more
Like,
options. Yeah, I'd argue the fact that France can just get a free convoy off into Wales if you don't go to Yorkshire is quite a big downside. Uh, so it's
I
a
mean,
case of options versus safety, right?
what percent of the time does France move into the English Channel without getting bounced? Because
Uh,
it's a very small percentage of the time.
I'd say it
And
would
then
actually
combine
happen.
that,
I'd say it actually happens relatively, like when France decides to go to the English Channel at high level play, it quite often works just because England doesn't go to the English Channel very often at a high level. Um, would you say you've experienced that as well or not?
I've not experienced much of the very aggressive anti-English as France, because people are so scared about France, and if France gets such a powerful attack off in the early game, it usually gets teamed very quickly.
Right.
And so you don't want to be, because France is generally considered the best nation in high level play. And so you want to fight against this by being in a relatively weak position without critical attacks on everyone. You generally want, I found my experience is that you want to be as defensive as possible and able to exploit someone who overextends, like an England who expects to get a build but doesn't, a Germany who's worried about Russia and pushes east or whatever, or an Italy who decides that he wants to go full out Lepanto and doesn't grow in time so you can capitalize,
Right.
as opposed to attack, commit early to an attack. It's one of the nice things about the corner powers. So you don't have to make these committal early moves. Um,
Yeah.
that's been my experience.
Alright, so shall we jump forward to to the fall then?
Yeah, let's see where Trieste moves.
Alright. I'm just gonna check that the stream's still looking fine. It is. Okay, so we have
8-0.
Trieste holding. No attempt from the Austrians to get rid of that. What do you think about that?
I think it's correct.
I yeah, I'd also say the same thing.
Just pretty clearly correct.
Specifically because this way the Austrian guarantees that he gets Albania, at least if the Italian doesn't attack him. Not Albania, Greece, even. Um,
Yeah,
and
what's really interesting is the fact that Trieste held rather than supporting Turkey into Serbia.
yes, I wonder if. I don't know whether Turkey would have been expecting support for that. Maybe he might. It goes back to this thing we were talking about before. This is the anti-Kila Panzer move, right, from Turkey.
Absolutely.
Um,
Um,
Making sure that that
but
move Trieste to Serbia would have failed if it happened.
yeah, and so the Italian player was probably certain that move was coming in because presumably, the Italian player kept his mouth shut about the potential, and so he expected Turkey to move into Serbia, and so he could have supported Turkey in there if he really wanted to crush Austria.
Yeah.
Right? Because if he supports Turkey into Serbia, Turkey would have gotten two builds in 1901. Austria would not have gotten any builds because he would have lost Trieste but gained Greece, staying at
Yes.
three, and Austria would have been crippled. So this indicates to me that Italy is actually interested in keeping Austria in the game, and he just wanted to take Trieste, and Austria couldn't really do anything about it.
Yeah, I'd agree. Because if you are Austria here, cutting a deal for the Italian to keep Trieste in return for not murdering you is is a pretty good move. Um, the Italian being in Trieste, in the short term at least, doesn't affect too much for you. It's a bit nerve wracking but you can still expand. The problem is that he has a very easy way to attack you later on.
As long as the army stays in Trieste, yeah. It's nice for the Alliance if you can find a way to demilitarize Trieste and get the army into the west or into Tyrolia and out of the way.
Yes.
Um, because then it's harder for Italy to stab because there's not that country to be there. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah. But most specifically, the probably the reason that Italy didn't want Austria dismembered so early is because in a situation like that, Italy doesn't actually gain all that much out of it. They might gain Greece if Turkey is nice to them later on. That's very debatable.
Unlikely.
They probably would gain Vienna, provided Austria didn't throw everything at them, which is a possibility. Budapest almost certainly goes to Russia, which means it's a three-way split. And in a three-way split, you have to have at least one person who's definitely on your side, right? You don't want to be the person who's being ganged up on by two people. And if you
And
put yourself in that position immediately, you're sort of betting on I've got better relations with this person than Russia has. I have got better relations with Turkey than Russia has, for example.
alternatively, you could argue you got better relations with Russia than Turkey has, and then you can do the Wintergreen Alliance, which
Yes,
is
that's possible. Although
the Russia-Italy alliance.
if you've just supported Turkey and Serbia, I think you'd be aiming for the other one.
Presumably.
But yeah,
But yeah, so then in the West we have a bounce in Belgium,
that's
which is interesting.
yeah. So I'm
Um,
wondering whether, like, this is obviously speculation because we can't see the negotiations. I'm wondering whether England had tried to convince Germany to support him in, and Germany had seen how uh, non-aggressive France and England had been before that, and was wondering whether it was an attempt to just get into Belgium and Munich at the same time, especially considering the forcefulness with which France took Burgundy in the
yeah,
spring. Yeah, uh,
supporting one of them into Belgium, I think, is a very risky plan here for Germany. I would almost never do it. I would be far more interested in supporting into Belgium from Burgundy. Um,
yeah, just to
but
get it
even
out of the way.
still, yeah, because you don't want as Germany, you don't like the French army being in Burgundy. But even still, this is one of those cases where that's a move I personally would never input, because think if you're the French player, all right. If Germany is being honest and he is supporting you into Belgium, then you would rather take Munich
Yes,
because you'd rather triple the German player, take his center. And so if he's lying to you about moving into Belgium, there's no reason to move into Belgium instead of Munich because then he's not actually supporting you. And if he is, you're just toast. So as Germany, I'm never going to input Ruhr supports Burgundy into Belgium, just
yeah.
ever. Um, and so as France, I'm never going to expect Germany to make that move either. Um, so
I think
you're pretty SOL.
remember this is face to face, so there is a certain amount of I know you're trustworthy from previous games that might happen. But in this case, I think it's fairly obvious. Yes, that was Germany's thought process.
Yeah,
It's not
but
worth
even
the risk.
still,
I'm
even like the face-to-face players frequently understand that the top board, the finals of a tournament, is when the gloves come off. People make their plays. They'll sacrifice their reputation for a good result at an individual table.
yeah, not
So that's
everyone
harder.
though. There,
I think the bigger deal in face-to-face is the ability to physically show somebody else the orders you're putting into the sheet.
that's
Because
true.
if
Yes.
you show somebody the order and then you put that order into your thing and then don't touch it again, they know you're doing this thing, right? You have this element that you can 100% verify something
Unless
is
you're
happening.
very, very good at sleight of hand. Just
Yes, absolutely. If you've
switch the
practiced sleight of
papers.
hand and then you can like switch the papers out effectively, then all means more power to you. But
Yeah. Um,
unlikely.
right, so the other important thing that happened, Russia gets into Sweden. That's pretty
Yeah,
much
Russia got two builds in 1901.
due to what you were saying earlier. Germany's much more likely to let them in if they think there might be an England France going on. I wonder if the bounce in Belgium specifically means that there isn't an England France going on. It might also just be to camouflage an England France alliance or an England France Germany alliance for that matter. Uh,
Yeah, A Western triple on this board seems unlikely. A Western triple being the England, France, Germany alliance.
Yeah.
It's just there's when in that alliance in particular, you really really want to get the English army into Norway as quickly as possible because that army is going to be a sticking point. And perhaps they wanted to take it Belgium. I don't think there's a Western triple on this
Yeah.
board. It
Yes,
doesn't strike me
the
as one.
stronger Western triple move would have been Norwegian through to Barents and then convoy up to Norway, although that would have also immediately shouted to everyone England
Yeah, you also
is
would
at
have
least
seen.
expecting it.
Yeah, but you also would have seen the probably the bounce out of Sweden, right? If they were actually
Yes,
interested in the Western triple.
not always. It depends. I've found letting Russia and Sweden in a Western triple isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially if they use it, if they use the build to try and take the south. But in this
Yeah, but
case,
most often.
where Russia was probably always going to get Romania, um, yeah,
And oh yeah, and we can talk about the neat thing about the South, right? Because Turkey needed to move to Serbia, Turkey it was not at the luxury of trying to bounce Russia out of Romania, and so Russia pretty much is going to get Romania while keeping Turkey stuck in the Black Sea. And that was
yes,
some pretty good tactical analysis in the South for Russia. He didn't need to support himself into Romania, and so he kept Turkey in a less powerful strategic position over him.
yes.
Or her. I'm not actually sure if any of these were women,
I
but I
don't
think they
know.
were all
Uh,
men. I'm not.
we're gonna
Yeah,
just
sorry about that.
refer to them as he or him, just because that is what it tends to be in
The
diplomacy.
vast majority of
Hopefully, at
people in
some
this.
point, it will stop being the case, but for now, that's what we're going to do.
All
Um,
right.
right.
Want to get
Also,
on to
I just want to say, yeah, that's pretty much always what happens around the Black Sea. Is first phase bounce,
in
and then
spring? Yeah,
ideally, Russia wants to bounce in the fall as well, but quite often they can't afford to just because they need to make sure they secure Romania, and that requires Sev to support the move. But in this round, he managed to keep him out of Black Sea for another round. That doesn't mean that Russia and Turkey are necessarily at odds with each other. It just means that neither of them really wants to be at the mercy of the other one. Uh,
absolutely. It's pretty natural for allies to try to keep themselves at parity.
yeah.
All right. Want to get on
All
to
right.
1902?
Let's advance. Is this going to advance to spring or winter? It's advancing to winter. Okay. Double army build from Russia. That's interesting. Army St. Petersburg.
It's I like that build. I like it a lot.
Why do you
Um,
like it?
doesn't threaten the north. It gives you options in potentially the south, but it still is in the north. And so you still are able to contest Norway. You're just not forced to. You're not when you build a fleet on the north coast of St. Petersburg or the south coast of St. Petersburg, you are making an enemy because
Yes.
England or Germany will be mad at you if you make that build, guaranteed. Whereas the army, you're not necessarily pissing off England. You're probably pissing off England, but not as much. And Germany understands you're still safe. So I
Yeah.
like it a lot.
I think that this is more pro German than pro England just because it's the only place St. Petersburg can really attack is Norway anytime
Until
soon.
it moves to Livonia.
Well, if it goes to Livonia, then yes, it can go Livonia, Prussia, Berlin, but it's a lot further to go that way.
Absolutely.
Um,
Much less
and
common.
Germany gets more warning. Yeah, so I would say this is a an anti-English move, an anti-English build, but we
But
don't know that for certain
at the
yet.
same time, he only could build in St. Petersburg and Moscow. And so
Yeah,
what's he gonna do?
that's true.
Because if he builds something else, he's screwed. So I don't think you can read relations from this move.
Mm.
Did France postpone a build?
Uh,
Because it
apparently
looks like France
so.
postponed
I
a build.
think that must have been well, we can't see the exact orders here.
But that's got to be a
It
misorder,
might
right?
have been a misorder. Yeah, maybe two builds in Brest by accident, or a build
Yeah,
that
Army
wasn't
Brest,
possible.
Fleet Brest.
Um,
I don't know.
yeah,
That's neat.
this seems really unusual for a high level game. There are definitely misorders that happen in high level games. Quite a lot of them are purposeful. Some of them are not, just because of how high pressure the situation is. You've got 15 minutes to order in a normal phase, and then in a winter phase, you usually have about a minute to write down your order and just submit it. Um, because you're on a running clock. So any time that comes out of the build phase, any time taken for the build phase comes out of the next phase, and you want more time to negotiate.
So yeah,
Um,
notable builds. I would argue Fleet Spirit is totally expected. The only build for Turkey in this
yeah,
spot, really.
Fleet Rome,
And then
Fleet
Fleet
Rome is
Rome and Fleet Naples are the
interesting.
ones that I want to talk about. Because when you make the move into Trieste, if you were interested in continuing after Austria, Army Venice is very natural, very common.
Yep.
But this to me shows that he's interested in actually going after France. And France is probably frustrated he didn't get Fleet Marseillan, and he did another fleet build. I would expect. Um,
Yeah.
so that's unfortunate.
Yeah. So then we have. So where do
Yeah,
you
Fleet
go with
Brest and
these
Fleet
two?
TL. Hmm?
Where do you
Oh, with
go
the
with
two
these
fleets.
two fleets? I guess you could go. It
So
sort
I
of
would go.
leaves the option for Lepanto. It also leaves the option to go against France, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He has a very powerful and anti-France continuation. So he can move Rome into Tuscany, Naples into Tyrrhenian Sea, and then he can move Tunis into North Africa and Ionian into Tunis if he wants to commit very hard against France. And of course Trieste into Venice and then into Piedmont. And if he does, if all of these moves goes and he's confident that he's safe in the east, which is perhaps a safe thought at the moment because Austria has got a lot of competition with the Russian army in Romania and the Turkish army in Bulgaria. Austria might not feel safe enough to push west. He has this really strong attack against France. I don't anticipate him doing it though. I think vacating Ionian is too much of a risk,
Right.
and so he can do a lighter anti-French attack and just move Rome into Tunis, Naples into Tyrrhenian, and still Trieste into Venice, but leave Ionian so he can either support Austria into Aegean or accept the Austrian support into Aegean. I
That
would
seems
expect
sensible.
that one much more.
Yeah, he is very heavily committed to an alliance with Austria either way now because Austria can just kick him out if he wants to.
Absolutely,
Um,
because of those two fleets. But Austria, I think, knows that if he does kick him out, Austria will die
I
because
don't I don't think that's
Turkey has no
necessarily
reason to
true.
attack him.
Say if you support the Russian unit down into Bulgaria, right,
Okay.
and get that Russian alliance, you can potentially turn around and push Italy out while Russia's dealing with Turkey and Turkey's trying to break out of his corner. You do still have some problems in Greece, obviously, some
I'm just
pretty
not sure
big
why
problems
Russia
in
would
Greece.
accept that.
I
I
mean,
don't see enough value in accepting the attack into Bulgaria and getting bogged down in this anti-Turkish war without Austrian support
it is difficult,
because
yeah.
Austria is going to be stuck dealing with Italy when he goes after Trieste. And so I would much rather just take the free Austria, the not free, but the likely easy to capture Austrian centers, and then say, hey, Austria, I'll totally accept your support to Bulgaria. Feel free to take Trieste. And then tell Italy, hey, Austria's going after Trieste. Get yourself into Adriatic Sea. I'll get into Galicia and he'll be dead. And then
That's reasonable, yeah.
Austria's dead.
I was
So,
comparing it against the eventuality that it's Russia Turkey against Austria Italy, which is just a bogged down, endless war as far as I can see. It's.
so the in this position, the Austria Italy alliance has the advantage in the south. And in those southern waters, getting control of the Aegean Sea is the most important territory in the war
Yes.
because it borders four centers by itself and it can support anything. It can cut. If you get armies, it can be critical in convoys, which are very powerful because they're more difficult to cut them, cut support from them. It is critical, and they can capture it next turn while still backfilling into the Ionian. So
Yeah.
it's very powerful at this moment in time.
I think for certain Turkey's going to have to filter that Ankaran fleet out if they're going to get any progress against an Italy Austria. The other option is to convince Austria to work with them or to convince Italy to go in for the backstab. But
Sure,
Italy
to go
going
for
in
the
for the
backstab.
backstab is
What's also neat is
it's
how do
difficult.
you filter the Ankara fleet through Constantinople? Because it's a challenge here. Because Constantinople, right, you can't switch positions with units. Constantinople can't move to Ankara, while Ankara moves to Constantinople. And so Constantinople needs to move someplace else.
Yeah,
Bulgaria is not likely to move anywhere, and so Smyrna is the only one left. And if Smyrna moves into the Eastern Med, but Austria and Italy decide they wanted to instead make the more aggressive move of move Greece into the Aegean Sea and Ionian into the Eastern Med, you might just completely bounce all those moves in the south, and Turkey still doesn't get their army or their fleet anchor into Constantinople.
Yeah, you also just outright can't move Constantinople right now if you want to guarantee holding Bulgaria, right? Because Budapest cuts Romania. So
Absolutely.
just then Bulgaria's gone, and it's not just gone, it's like the units is destroyed.
Yeah. I mean, so the way that they would have to happen, right? They would need to attack from Serbia, right? So if Budapest attacks Romania, Romania could move to Serbia rather than support holding Bulgaria and tending to cut support from Serbia, which
Yeah,
means that unless Greece in particular was the one making the attack, it wouldn't be successful. Um, and so you just have these weird in diplomacy when you have these lines like this where you have these four units or five units with Greece next to each other. The actual tactics of how you capture each center is difficult to figure out.
yes. Well, I would not be too surprised if the Italian army backfills Serbia if they go for an attack on Bulgaria, right?
Not particularly.
Just to bounce out the Romanian unit potentially, if that comes to it. We should probably move on quick. Well, we
Yeah,
need
to
to
the
talk
next
about
units.
the West, the
The
German
two fleet
builds.
builds.
The French fleet build. We've already spoken. The second build from France is missing, which is very weird. Um, French fleet build looks anti-English, but given that two Italian fleets just came onto the board, I think it's more likely to go to Mid-Atlantic,
And defend against the Italian attack.
especially given
Absolutely.
the English fleet is in Edinburgh and not London. So England is being very pro-France here. Um,
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
do you?
probably.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that build is not pro-France.
The Edinburgh fleet is pro France.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's just and it combined with the fleet in Kiel, you know that England is likely to be more worried about the Germany than France.
yeah.
But I'm not convinced that the France is too concerned by the Italian fleets. Um, it's a little concerning, but it's not that concerning. You still got the army in Spain, which can sit in Gascony, which just makes the Spaniards' life or the Italians' life ridiculously hard for taking anything.
It is important to note they
Um,
do have the build on standby as well, because they didn't use it here. So next year, Italy can't actually take any French centres in 1 year, so they would have some warning and be able to build in Marseille potentially to stop it.
yeah,
Um,
with
so
guesswork, of course, but
yeah, maybe he does go against England. I don't see him going against England, at least not if I was in that position. Not immediately. Um,
yeah, I think immediately would be a mistake. You wanna make sure the army in Yorkshire gets convoyed away before you actually go after England.
yeah. Uh,
So what moves do you anticipate
right.
seeing in the next turn?
Oh,
Which
hang on. I have to go and get some clothes out of the dryer. That is.
all right.
So, I will quickly talk first. Some moves that I anticipate next turn. I guess you're probably right. Italy is more likely not to commit to a Western assault. So, either Ionian. Nah. See, this is an interesting line. I would probably order Serbia to Bulgaria, Greece support, Serbia to Bulgaria, Trieste to Serbia, and then have a guess.
Budapest cuts Romania.
Yeah, Budapest cuts Romania. Ionian guesses between Aegean and Eastern Med. I'd probably send it to Eastern Med because that's what I do. But
Hmm. Interesting.
it's but that's a 50-50.
Yeah. Here is where if I was playing as weaker players, I would simply support Ionian into the Aegean in the spring, because if Russia and Turkey can't figure out which one of them wants to be in the Black Sea, and they simply agree to bounce again, Bulgaria is a capture next turn. Because
Yes.
what we could do is with the fleet in Naples into Ionian, we could convoy our army from Tunis into Bulgaria with support from Greece. Um, Actually, it's not a guaranteed
Yeah.
capture. It's just a
See,
very likely capture.
I wouldn't rule out something like Bulgaria to Greece, Smyrna to Aegean, and then Constantinople support Romania to Bulgaria just to bounce
Sure,
uh, any potential attack there.
but that
Um,
doesn't take Bulgaria still.
it no, sorry, this is Turkish Russian side, something that cuts Greece and bounces out of the Aegean, especially at high level. Uh,
Absolutely, that's a very very solid tactic. And the only counter to it would be to support yourself into Armenia
yeah,
from Budapest or Serbia, which is a little bit of an odd looking play here.
yeah. It's mind games, right? If you successfully made it into Romania this phase, I'd be very impressed. Watch Austria take it next turn now. Um, but we're gonna leave it on a cliffhanger there quickly while I go and collect some clothes out of the dryer, and hopefully I can cut this part out when the video comes in. So I will be hopefully less than 5 minutes. Uh, See you in a bit.
Yeah, so much guesswork in the south. Like getting into Aegean does guarantee Bulgaria, because you can have Aegean cut Constantinople. I was just hoping to find a way to get the army from Tunis into Bulgaria, but you can't guarantee it. It's really depressing. So you gotta like support Ionian into Aegean, and then if against weaker players, they're not in the Black Sea, you can take it. But stronger players, at the very least, are going to make it into the Black Sea with one of Russia or Turkey. So then they can support hold Bulgaria from there, and you can capture it. Um, but being in Aegean is nice because then you can support yourself into the Eastern Med. And once you're in the Eastern Med and in the Aegean Sea, Smyrna is now on the table. And so Constantinople starts to get overtaxed pretty quickly, because it needs to start guessing if it's going after Smyrna or if it's going after Bulgaria, or if the where the Aegean Sea is going basically. And if the Aegean Sea helps with Smyrna, you can't capture it anymore. But if it goes after Bulgaria, you can take that instead. Very tough. An army in Ankara, as you might notice, it would be far more valuable here than the fleet in Ankara because you could have Russia take the Black Sea, and then you could have Ankara, the army in Ankara, support hold Smyrna, even with the Italian and Austrian fleets in the Aegean and Eastern Med, and then you can't take Smyrna or Bulgaria, and it's just an annoying line where the West can't push you at all, and Russia can eventually get into Galicia and Ukraine and start pushing back the Austrian, which is the long-term plan of it. Or you just make the argument, hey, Italy, you're never going to get anything from me. Why don't you stab your buddy Austria? And then Italy will frequently say yes. Man, that's an annoying war. Too often. But yeah, I'm expecting to see Turkey take the Black Sea from Ankara, have Sevastopol support hold Romania, Warsaw to Galicia, of course, and Vienna to Galicia. Then what do I expect to see the Italians and the Austrians do? So do I anticipate them allying, or do I anticipate Italy being a little greedy? I think Rome's a Tyrrhenian sea. Hmm.
All
And then
right,
Kiel.
I
Where
am
does Kiel
back.
go? All right, where does Kiel go?
All right. So, you were you examining that while I was away?
Yeah, I was talking about a bunch of stuff. Um, and I'm pretty sure that Ankara is going to take the Black Sea, um, is the big one, rather than Sevastopol.
Right.
And I was trying to figure out where Kiel was going. I was talking about the south, but I don't know if whereas Germany, I would rather take Baltic Sea and go after Sweden and try to ally, do the triple type thing, or if I want to go into the Helgoland Bight and try to go after England. And I can't say without knowing how the negotiations have gone with the different countries on the board,
I
because
wonder
that's the
whether
tiebreaker. I think they're all viable.
I wonder whether sending it to Holland might work. If you manage to get French support into
Sure.
Belgium,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely. There are so many options for either of these attacks. I was talking about the two basic lines of anti-Russia or anti-England.
yeah, anti-Russia
Yeah,
could be incredible, but at the same time, you're leaving yourself so open at the back. One unit to defend pretty much all of your centers if you go all
absolutely.
out.
If
Um,
you go all out, it could just annihilate Russia, but it's also unlikely to keep you alive.
and given Russia has so many armies, yeah, that's
Yeah, I think the anti-Russian play would be more of a medium line. Just take Baltic Sea and take Sweden, and then leave Bohemia, Silesia, and Prussia demilitarized.
uh,
But I don't know. I can't say, and I don't think guessing would be has any chance to make me look smart here.
yeah. Shall we just move on to spring then?
Let's do it.
Yeah. At the end of 1902, let's do some power rankings. 1901 is probably too early to tell. 1902, we could have a guess at who might be coming out on top. Um, but okay, surprising amounts of holds on this board.
Very lame. I am very unimpressed by the Austrians
Yeah,
and the Russians and the Turks. Wow.
basic.
What?
All of this just seems like, ugh.
They support held Serbia. That's amazing. That's I think critically wrong.
No, he said Serbia support held Budapest.
I think there was a miss. Did Budapest
Budapest
held
held.
that? I think there were some issues putting in orders here. Or alternatively, there could have been a misorder with Budapest supporting Vienna into Galicia. That seems probable.
Yeah, actually,
Because
that's very likely. Yes. Um,
um, because there's no way that Serbia would have just support held Budapest when Budapest did literally nothing. But Serbia's support to Budapest did nothing. There was absolutely no purpose to that move, right? Because Budapest could never have been captured, and as long as it was staying put, it could never have been captured. So that support hold was irrelevant. Um, and what's far like a tap of Romania in this case would have been incredible because you would have kept, assuming Budapest support into Galicia, assuming Budapest supporting Vienna into Galicia came through, he would have been able to just end up in Galicia, right? Serbia supporting
yeah,
Budapest was just a bad move. It accomplished nothing essentially. It was a hold,
yeah.
and I don't like holding with my units.
I would like. I would cut Romania every time from Budapest here. Maybe
In this position,
there
right?
is.
I think there were arguments to doing other stuff, like having the supporting Budapest and Romania, right? There were weird positions like that. And in this case, your line of having Serbia support Budapest and Romania would have worked like a charm, because Bulgaria wasn't even support holding Romania, and so you would have just captured
Yes.
it. You would have bounced out of Galicia, so there would not have been able. So Romania could not have retreated there, and they bounced out of the Black Sea into Sevastopol, and so Romania would have been disbanded, and there wouldn't have been an army in the Black Sea, and so Bulgaria would have fallen because you were also in the Aegean Sea, and not only would Bulgaria fall, but Eastern Med would have fallen at the same time. So this board
Yeah.
could have been this Austria-Italy stomping of the Juggernaut alliance, but instead, here we are.
I should point out that yeah, my suggested move of Eastern Mediterranean would have been blocked. It was a 50-50, I guess. Um, but yes, Turkey losing Aegean here is horrible. Uh,
Yeah, but again, it was difficult to stop. The only stopping line would have been the have Bulgaria attack Serbia, which is risky unless they do
yeah.
exactly your line of Constantinople support Romania into Bulgaria. But I just don't think they saw it. I don't. my estimation of the skill of these Russian and Turkey players just dropped dramatically on this turn because
Mm.
again, agreeing to bounce in the Black Sea here is critical for both of them now.
Well,
Um, Bulgaria
the
is not defensible.
it's possible that they're both trying to convince Austria to side with them against the other. Um,
That's I don't know, perhaps, but even still, that neither of them supported Austria. No, neither of them supported Serbia into a different center, right?
yeah,
And I don't know. Maybe they were assuming that Austria and Turkey and Italy were going to continue their war rather than make friends. I would assume with the builds, though, it would have been different.
yeah.
Those
There's
builds,
no
both of
way
us thought
you
were
assume
really
they continue attacking each other after
right.
those builds.
I just, I don't think, I don't know. I'm very unimpressed.
Yeah, the only way you could continue an attack from there would be what, convoy tuners to Albania, maybe. Even then, it's just terrible. Uh,
Yeah, the convoy to Albania is it's still that's powerful. That is a powerful
it's
setup.
not powerful here because you just get booted out of Trieste if you.
Yeah, because you can't be into Adriatic. It's yeah, no, I don't like anything. I don't.
Yeah,
And again, what am I talking about when I say that they've given up their or they gave up their strategic position? Although again, because they ended up in Galicia anyways, it might have worked out.
yeah.
Um,
They
'Cause
should
I need
not
to look.
be in Galicia here. There is no way in hell that move should have succeeded ever, ever. It's
Yeah.
just a misorder. They're on
Um,
somewhat even ground because of the misorder, but even then, Turkey's
but
on
even still,
horrible
right? I'm
ground.
pretty sure Bulgaria is just going to fall.
Yeah.
So tactical analysis is not actually if if Bulgaria falls, Budapest falls.
Uh,
No, Budapest doesn't fall.
no, because
Budapest
Trieste has
can
moved
fall.
out. Mm,
Yeah, the fact that Trieste moved into Tyrolia makes it really weakens their tactical here.
yeah. The
Um,
thing is, if Trieste was still there, they could do Vienna. Sorry, no, Budapest cuts
yeah,
Romania.
and then Trieste
And
supports Vienna into Budapest, while Greece supports Serbia into Bulgaria, while the GNC cuts Constantinople.
yep, and that
The
would
only downside would be
guarantee.
that Romania potentially moving into Serbia, while Galicia moves into Vienna, because that way Budapest takes Romania, Romania takes Serbia, but Galicia takes Vienna. And then we still take Bulgaria, though. So it's still just a trade with a completely chaotic position afterwards.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, you can solve some of that by doing Vienna supports Trieste to Budapest instead. That solves the whole Galicia moving to Vienna part, but the
yes,
Serbia would
that would
still be
work. That would work
open.
better.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, but even still, then we take two centers. We would take Romania and Bulgaria, and they would only take Serbia unless Sevastopol moved to like. There are a lot of permutations here. And then you could stop the Serbia issue obviously by moving Trieste into Serbia or Budapest into Serbia, right? So you can move like Budapest into Serbia, whilst Vienna supports Trieste into Budapest. I think that's optimal,
yeah.
right? Um, yeah, that'll work.
All right.
That'll answer everything.
I
So
like
that's those are the
Germany.
but they're not. But they're in Tyrolia.
Yeah.
Ah.
So Tyrolia is kind of it's an interesting move. It gives a lot of flexibility, except it kind of weakens their well, it very much weakens their front line. But then they weren't
Yeah,
expecting to have lost Galicia, so it should have been
they weren't
fine, right?
expected to have lost Galicia, so it should have been fine. And they're still taking Bulgaria guaranteed this turn if they want it. But that weakens Turkey, but it strengthens Russia. It doesn't give them anything. I don't know if you want to make that line then. Um,
Mm,
I think you settle for just taking Eastern Med and calling it a day.
yeah. So
Wow, East was a cluster.
yeah.
Jeez.
See, it's like East is just terrible. I don't know what to say here. Like a lot of this is just the misorder here is horrible for Austria, and the Russian and
Yeah,
Turkish moves are just terrible in general.
yeah. I
Except
would never.
I don't know if the Russian
And then
moves are
why is
really
Serbia
that.
supporting Budapest?
I don't think
Right?
I don't think the Russian moves are that
The Russian moves are
terrible.
fine. The Russian moves I
Yeah,
think are okay, right? I mean, I
just
wouldn't. I would almost never have input them, but I think they're fine, right? They're totally reasonable. Um, there is no order on this board that I say is irrelevant for
mm,
Russia, unlike for Austria, who just input a blank move. Turkey moves are fine, but like Russia and Turkey didn't agree to who gets the Black Sea.
yeah.
That's just
See,
you can't distrust each other at this stage in the game. You need the Black Sea for strategic or
my
for
view
like
my view
tactical
on this
position.
is that Russia is hedging their bets and hoping that Turkey goes down so that they can take the Black Sea, reinforce their southern position, hopefully get something in the north while that's going on.
I could see that. There could be this like weird thing where Austria agreed to misorder. Um, Austria agreed
Uh,
to misorder with Russia, so they get a better position in the south. And we could see a stab of Turkey in the south. That would keep my estimation of these players high. 'Cause that's a potentially viable line. I
yeah,
just don't see it.
it's
Um,
I think that Russia wants Turkey to go down, but they can't directly do that yet. Right, that would
I
be my
think
read on the board, but it
sure,
might be completely wrong.
sure. I think that's a more plausible read than Russia and Turkey suck at diplomacy and don't know what they're doing, which seems highly unlikely given the caliber of the players involved.
Yes,
But
so
the moves this turn just seem shocking.
let's jump to the north. So Russia holding everything. That's kind of okay because they wouldn't have been able to do anything anyway, and it
Except for
keeps them.
bounce Germany.
Did they? Oh yes, they could
Skagerrak.
have gone to Skagerrak.
Or Denmark.
Like, but
Denmark would have been the more likely move to just bounce the guaranteed not do much, but the Skagerrak move would have been very risky.
Yes,
But the move to Skagerrak is very interesting.
both of them make Russia an enemy though in Germany, right? The
Um, yeah, the one to Skagerrak potentially not, but probably very, very probably.
Yeah, Skagerrak feels
I
like
love Skagerrak.
it can go either way. I
Exactly.
really like Germany's moves this round. I
I,
like.
I, I'm very, very pleased with Germany's position. I think he improved by far the most
Yep,
this turn.
Germany jumped to the top of my power rankings right now. Although France is pretty high as well. I like France's moves a lot because Brest to Mid
Yeah, they're
Atlantic,
fine.
Portugal to Spain South Coast leaves him. It looks anti-Italian, but it leaves him able to
Oh,
jump into
yeah,
North Atlantic and Mid Atlantic at the same time immediately.
absolutely. And
And
with a build coming up for free, he can move in the North Atlantic, Mid Atlantic, and still build a fleet in Brest. It's
yes,
still a very
it's
powerful attack.
incredible against England, and England is not looking to get any builds this round.
And this makes it if Russia and Germany decide to take Norwegian Sea or Norway, excuse me, you can capitalize on it with this anti-English attack or not. I like these moves a lot too.
Yeah,
You just need to find some way to misorder and stay here until the fall next turn, um, and
I
like bounce
doubt that
yourself in
would be
Western Med or
believable.
something. But
Like maybe agreeing with Italy to bounce in Western Med would work.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
I
but
mean,
you also have the ability to attack France potentially.
France has the ability to attack France.
Germany has
What?
the ability to attack France.
Yes,
Sorry, I
yeah,
jumped around. Not I'm talking about it. And so as England, as France, I don't think you want to commit against England yet because Germany's got three armies on your front.
two right now. Very soon three.
Well,
At the
and
moment they
yeah, but
can do
he's taking
Marseille.
Belgium, right?
At the moment they can do Marseille support Burgundy and hold it.
Yeah, and
Right.
not lose Burgundy, but Belgium is falling,
Belgium is about to
right?
fall. Yes.
And so because Belgium is falling, unless you can get English help with that, you're in rough shape.
Yeah. Um, shall we jump ahead? We
Let's
need
go.
to maybe talk about North support Norway.
I don't,
There's
I don't
not a
know.
lot to
It's
talk
pretty
about there.
obvious. Look, Russia could attack it with two strengths. England supported it with strength two.
But then what does England do next round? Now that they're in Norwegian Norway North,
They
and
can.
Germany has Skagerrak, Denmark, and Russia
Now
has
we just
Sweden,
try to
St.
convince,
Petersburg.
Germany to go after Sweden instead of after
North.
you.
Yeah, that's probably the best plan.
Yeah, probably unsuccessful. Like again, I don't know how diplomacy is going. I can't say it, but just the Germany England, the Germany Russia alliance seems very powerful right here. You
I
need to
mean,
have some very, very silver tongue to stay out of it.
I'd be pretty happy with the Germany England alliance here as Germany, just because you gain Sweden and you have a huge force on the French line already.
Yeah, I would like taking the North Sea though.
It would be nice,
North
but
Sea, North Sea is a good
you
place.
can't guarantee it.
You can't guarantee it, but if you don't take the North Sea, then Russia takes Norway, and most people like dots more than they like the North Sea. I think they're wrong personally. I think the North
Yeah, they're
Sea is worth
definitely
more than
wrong.
Norway here, but I think a lot of people are going to support hold Norway rather than support holding the North Sea.
I think bear in mind as well this is the top game at the World Championships, like the final, these people are good enough to
Yeah.
know that the North Sea is always prioritized over Norway in this situation, right?
Eh. Look, man, you also know that they're not going to input random hold orders for no reason. And yes, look at the Austria player. So I'm not.
Uh,
Look, man,
all
I
right.
think they're next leveling themselves or something. But that's my feeling. I would love to go up to the North Sea this turn. I would support like probably Skagerrak in the North Sea.
Mm,
Take Belgium from Ruhr, and then call it a day.
yeah.
That'd be my German moves. But I also can't negotiate with anyone, right? This is gunboat for me,
Yeah.
so unhelpful.
All right. Shall we move forward then?
Let's do it.
Fall 1902. If this page loads, it appears to.
Oh no.
Is it down for you or?
Oh no, I'm not. It's not loading.
Ah,
No.
backstabber. No. Oh, there we go. It worked.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Whoa, what a turn. What a turn. What a turn. What a turn.
Sorry, is that Austria
Okay.
supports Bulgaria
Yeah,
into
this Austrian player is no, this
Constance?
Austrian player is trolling. This Austrian player is just so good. He just knows he can just troll. I'm convinced. There's no fucking way. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be swearing, but there's absolutely no way that he misordered so blatantly. And then look at the France player, the bounce in Western Med. Yeah, right. Clearly, oh, so sad. Oh, how I can't possibly have made that mistake. No way.
Well, I don't think that's very clearly not a mistake, right? They will definitely everyone will know exactly what's going on over there. But there's not a huge amount England can do about it. Although now that
England got
England
a build
England got the
because
bill.
Germany decided that he didn't want Belgium. He decided he would rather give England an extra build, put the army in Belgium. Is this some like weird Western triple?
I don't
No,
think so.
no
So
way,
in my mind,
no way.
this is the top board, yes? The person who finishes on the most centres wins the tournament. If you get a massive target on your back right at the start, you're going to get ganged up on. I think
Yeah,
that's
only to some extent
Germany's.
though.
I think that's Germany's thought here. He's thinking, I need an ally. England will be my ally if I convoy him into Belgium. Yeah,
I don't think so that at all.
like
I think Germany was scared about the Italian army in Tyrolia and the French army in Burgundy, and he said, "I don't want to lose Munich if they support an attack into Munich."
oh, that would make
I think
sense.
that's what he said.
That would make a
And
lot of sense.
I think he was too scared. I think he should have said, "You know what? Fine, Italy. If you and France go for it, go for it." Um, right. I just didn't even acknowledge the potential threat because I think it's way more likely that they're going to be at odds with each other than that they're going to be allied. That was my read of the situation. Because either France attacks England, right, in which case he doesn't want to piss off Germany by supporting Italy into Germany, or he attacks Italy with his two fleets, right? Because the two fleets can't go after Germany,
Yeah,
right? So those two fleets are only going after England or Italy, or they're going to sit around defensively the entire game, which seems unlikely. So I think he's likely to piss off one or the other, and so France is very likely to be allied with Germany at this point in time. So I would not have been concerned about Munich.
yeah.
But it's really easy to say when I said that Munich wasn't attacked. Oh yeah, I never would have worried about that, man. Never.
I'm just trying to make I can't make heads or tails of these southern moves. What is going on?
So the southern moves, right? If you just change Germany or Greece supports Serbia into Bulgaria rather than Serbia supports
Greece supports Bulgaria and Constantinople.
Greece,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
right. Then suddenly that all makes a lot of sense, right? Because
but
they were hedging their bets here.
Serbia didn't move, so it
Wait, are you
can't have
kidding
been the
me?
support there. It could
And
have
Serbia
been.
just held.
I mean,
I don't know,
it's
man.
possible he promised Russia.
Okay,
Like clearly, he's promised
no,
Russia support into Bulgaria here. Yes, because Russia moved into Bulgaria.
yeah, because Russia moved like he was getting support in Bulgaria, certainly.
What's more, he supported the move from Ukraine to Romania into that way with Galicia, which means he was expecting A for Romania to be vacant and B for Galicia, well, not to be attacked. Maybe not to be attacked, but certainly not to be dislodged. I think. Um,
I would love to know what the Austrian player was thinking. I would love to be privy to these
well,
diplomatic sessions because we're still analyzing this from a gunpoint perspective, and it just doesn't work.
yeah,
It's ridiculous. But man, Russia lost a setter this turn because it lost Sweden. What's their
yes.
disband?
Uh, it can't
I
be in
guess,
the north, can it? Or they just lose the north completely. They
right?
have to
Just
keep
he's
that
gonna
fleet.
take St. Petersburg.
Um,
Um,
I might disband Warsaw. Yeah,
God, I would. You can't
it
disband the
can't.
Black
It
Sea.
can't be.
It can't be Ukraine. Do you disband Romania? That seems like you're conceding the game, right? You can't do that.
Yeah,
Maybe you just concede the North. Maybe just disband the fleet of both Gulf of Bothnia and say, have at it, guys. I don't like that line, but I don't see a better one.
like the Greeks support Bulgaria to Constantinople has to be a deliberate misorder to say, okay, this was what I was trying to support you in Russia. I didn't really, but
How can you like
then
fancy that, right? So like you can misspell ROM, so like you could make it be like you could spell ROM right like CO and then like make an iffy M that looks kind of like an N.
but that's the
So you
wrong
have
way.
hmm?
That's the wrong way. He's supposed to be supporting Romania to Bulgaria. So
Okay, so you just need to make the yeah, Con and Romania look kind of similar, man. I get you can fudge it. Alternatively, again, the Austrian player, if it's like an actually like a player who hasn't made it to the top board before, or somebody who's getting stressed out, I could see
that is
them
possible,
being
yes.
super stressed out and just like not remembering the names of the countries and just like
Yeah, we do have to
blitzing through the orders at the end.
keep in mind that we're looking at this with like we're able to talk about one phase for half an hour. These guys are talking to each other and they have to get their orders in the box in 15 minutes.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're
Uh,
going way slower pace than they are.
so
Um,
yeah, so it could be the
all
high
right.
tension here
Power
getting to
rankings.
them.
Power rankings. England number one. England's my boy.
Do you think it's in?
England number one. He got
Yeah.
Belgium.
Okay,
France is
yes,
working with
yeah.
him. Germany supported him into Belgium. Clearly, neither of them are attacking him. Germany's no longer in Skagerrak. He's got 3 fleets in the north. I'm
I
England number one.
I think
Solid.
Mid Atlantic and Spain still being there is a point against England, and
Point against England.
the fact that Germany has the 2 fleets in the north as well. Uh,
It's in
but
Sweden. Sweden and Denmark are so much less threatening than anything else
yeah, but where do they
because you
go
don't have the
now?
Federal Sea. Oh, they go up to St. Petersburg, right? You're gonna support either you're gonna have him sit in the Gulf of Bothnia for a while and then support him into St. Petersburg, or you're gonna just have support him into St. Petersburg more quickly, or you're just gonna sit around in Sweden for a long time, and so you're gonna have to deal with it.
All
Like it
right,
is not optimal, but look at anyone else on the board who has fewer points against them, because the French fleets and the German fleets
I
are
think
a little suboptimal, but
Italy is in a pretty strong position here. He just took Eastern Mediterranean as well. Bear in mind,
yeah,
because Turkey
because
just went back into
Turkey was
Smyrna.
worried about Smyrna and the YOLO move into Smyrna, but
Yeah.
a worthwhile concern.
The, the hilarious thing here is, right, because of Austria's shenanigans, Austria was promising support from Russia against Turkey, for Russia against Turkey, yeah? Turkey was clearly expecting Russian support against Austria.
Against Austria.
Due to Austria's weird moves, that
Any of them
actually
would have
would
worked.
have worked. And it would have
Anything done in the south would have worked.
it wouldn't just have worked. Constantinople would have made it into Bulgaria as well. They would have been in an incredible position. The Russian,
But
Turkish
instead,
allies.
Austria's silver tongue convinced Russia that Austria was a better ally than Turkey.
Yep.
And I mean, it was impressive. That is good. Like, that's amazing diplomacy by Austria. Just his moves don't make any sense.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, it's difficult to describe,
So, again,
but
maybe it was a
clearly,
misorder last turn with the support from Romania into Bulgaria, and Russia just assumed it was coming this turn,
hmm,
right? Like, he misordered something along those lines, but it wasn't actually clear, right? I
yeah.
don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
So in my view, clear winner in the south is Italy at the moment.
Italy is by far in the best position in like the entire. I don't know if Italy is part of the East, but in this game, Italy's
Yeah,
pretty Eastern.
in the
Italy's also
west,
got armies in Piedmont and Tuscany, so
power rankings probably go England top, then Germany next, France. I think France and Germany are actually,
they're
despite
very
appearances,
even right now.
they're quite even. Yeah,
I
um,
would still give the edge to Germany. He has 6 units. France has 5.
especially if England decides to side with him. But
Yeah, but again, they're close enough in power level that whoever England decides to go after. But also, for the record, England or Germany and France could still totally just smash England,
yeah,
right? Like if we see Fleet Kiel, Fleet Brest, I would not fancy my chances as England in this position.
So, are we comfortable putting Italy at number one then, and then England probably next?
I would still put Italy at number two.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
Italy's in good position. I really like this English position. Also, I'm a weaker Italian player. I don't know how to handle this much chaos, and this Austrian player, I just a wild card.
but the
Just
Austria hasn't taken Trieste, so he's not that much of a
didn't take
wild
Trieste
case
that turn, but
card.
if he couldn't have taken Trieste that turn and been safe at all. But as soon as this Austrian player gets in any potential position, I don't like our potential alliance.
Okay, so
But
he couldn't have taken Trieste and been safe, but the way he played wasn't safe anyways.
true,
uh,
true. This all, I don't know what this Austrian player is doing. As far he's either way worse than me or on another level, and presumably he's on another level.
yeah, let's just assume that.
He's amazing.
Or yeah,
This is the most amazing play. Like, what the, how do you do that?
it
How do
is.
you misorder twice? Let them into Galicia, have your position be terrible, and then just do nothing and have it be amazing.
Well, he took
Like,
Galicia, so
he took Galicia back. How do you just? It's amazing. Like that, the silver tongue Austrian player. That's beautiful. But his
yeah.
moves don't make any sense. They don't.
All right. So you're putting England number one, Italy number two.
I would say England number one, Italy number two.
I'm gonna put Italy number one, England number two. Uh,
Sure.
Probably like everyone else in the East is worse off than everyone else in the West, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
So then I would say like France, Germany are tied for third, fourth.
Yeah,
And then Austria is definitely in a better position than Turkey or Russia. Just
you
it
should.
has to be like that.
I think.
Turkey's in the worst position by far. There's an Italian fleet in the
Yeah,
GNC
yeah.
and in the Eastern Med.
I
Turkey
agree.
can't be on Econ spot, and Russia lost the unit last turn. St. Petersburg is likely to fall soon after. I don't like the Russian position either.
Yeah, Russia's north probably takes it down to sixth, which means despite Austria's moves, they're in fifth place according to our power rankings.
They're better than both of their rivals, which is what matters.
Yes,
So that's amazing. I'm so happy.
but that is majorly on account of being propped up by Italy. The fact that Turkey's in such a horrible position,
But I mean, what? True, true.
and the fact that Russia's falling in the north.
Yes, right. But again, you got to give him. Austria clearly had something to do with this, right? You
Yep.
can't make these and make your enemies do that and then not have influence on England, right? That's
Yeah.
really cool. Let's go to the
All right.
builds.
Let's move to builds. Maybe power rankings will change here depending on what gets disbanded and built.
Ooh, Army
Fleet
Kiel, Fleet London,
Fleet Marseille.
and Fleet Marseille. Fleet Marseille's natural, right? Italy's been kind of annoying against him
Yeah,
with the
Fleet.
unit
It can
Piedmonts.
also be
But
sent north.
I would have expected an army in Marseille.
Fleet London is pretty
Yeah,
reasonable as well.
and then disband St. Petersburg rather than Gulf of Bothnia. Okay, reasonable.
I guess he St. Petersburg is the only one that makes sense, but even there, it's still a pretty horrible disband to have to make.
Oh yeah, but you have to make one. Something's got to
Yeah,
go.
if England and Germany decide to push, you have no way of holding here.
Yeah,
You
but
have
the
to
extra unit wouldn't
just
have held much anyways, right? You had a couple of guesses, but not that's
yeah,
not a lot.
you have to
Um,
hope that they take it with a fleet, which looks likely, and then just stop. So you back out of the north and
yeah,
invest fully in the south, which seems like a mistake here as well because the south is not looking great for Russia either. But there's not much he can do. Right. So Fleet
yeah,
London makes
seems fine.
sense regardless of who he's sticking
And
with.
everything else, yeah.
Um,
And
shall
then
we?
Army Kiel is clearly a nod to the English player,
Yeah,
hoping for the
he's
alliance,
yeah, because a
but also
fleet
not
there.
interested in going after Germany or after Russia. Excuse me, Germany's not interested in going after Russia.
It's very possible he's cutting a deal with Russia and saying, if you let us have St. Petersburg, we won't bother you anymore. Um,
Yeah, but I would have only accepted that if he disbanded the fleet, not the army.
I
But
would have probably
First of all,
done the same.
England is
Yeah,
probably pushing for the army instead. So
that's
yeah,
true.
I'm if I'm England here, I'm gonna stab Germany this turn.
Hmm. I
I'm gonna
do.
get support into Sweden from Norway or with the Gulf of Bothnia. Support Norway to Sweden. North Sea either goes to Skagerrak or cuts Denmark, and then we backfill Norway from the Norwegian Sea, and then we smack them. You could even go more
Alright.
aggressive, go for Helgoland Bight and the North Sea, and then still go after Sweden. Um,
Yeah, but you have to bear in
and
mind that France may well be moving fleets up this round, just
Absolutely.
defensively at least.
But I wouldn't.
The fact that he didn't build in Brest is a plus.
Yeah, but he couldn't build in Brest. Build Brest means you're going to defend,
Yeah,
right? Um,
Brest, I
he's
guess,
going back.
commits to a war against England.
But the only way to defend Liverpool is by using Norwegian Sea or by using London. Maybe you use Norwegian Sea. Maybe you don't backfill Norway. So you have Norwegian Sea move to North Atlantic Ocean, while London um backfills North Sea, while North Sea moves to the Helgoland Bight. No, that doesn't seem good.
I don't know. Shall we just move forward and see what happened?
Yeah, let's see what happens.
All right. So move into Barents from England. I want to focus on the north first because I can see some horrible things happening in the south, but I don't want to deal with them yet. So let's
I
just
shouldn't be laughing.
let's
I
just go
shouldn't
to
be laughing.
the nice
The
peaceful
nice simple
stuff.
north. Great. So the north, Russia's going to lose St. Petersburg next turn.
No, not
Germany, like,
necessarily.
looked like
Germany
Germany.
moving against England here by the look of it.
Yeah, it looked like Germany tried to do a stab. What a risky set of moves. Why, as Germany, why are you support holding Burgundy?
Well, to offer an alliance, I guess.
Tap
He,
Burgundy.
he doesn't really have.
Tap it.
No. He wants to show support, I guess.
Yeah, but still tap it. This doesn't cost anything. You're never going to take Burgundy, and this just stops this sequence from happening.
That's true, but at the same time, you want to build up a certain level of trust between you if you're going to be in an alliance.
I don't believe in trust. I believe building up trust is completely irrelevant. You want to keep yourself in a position where you're safe from a potential stab, and that's how you trust your ally. You can't stab me even if you tried, so I can still work with you.
So we got the
I think that's...
we have the triangle thing happening here as well. France decides to ally with England, thus saving England from the German stab. Germany decides to ally with France and take centres which were prevented by France not wanting to work with him. England decides to work with Germany and gets stabbed by Germany, but gets saved by
France.
France.
So yeah,
and specifically saved by France bouncing him in the English Channel. That's huge. I wonder if England deliberately...
The English Channel bounce was agreed upon.
Yeah, I think
I don't think there's any way that they make that move otherwise.
there is a...
And then the move to Wales from London was just a hedge. I like it. I like that a lot. That was clean. That was clean from the English player.
Yeah.
He hedged his bets. That's good. That's good because yeah, absolutely. That was really good.
Yep. So
And then the South. Do we want to have a look at what happened in the South, or we just want to say nobody did anything and call it a day? Just they traded back Galicia. So let's see. So Austria supported Turkey into Romania, whilst tapping Bulgaria. Right?
Focus on Italy first, right? Because Italy has
Yeah,
probably
he
the
took
most
Smyrna.
reasonable moves. He convoys back
Fine.
to Tunisia. I'm not
That's
sure
fine.
about that. I suppose it sets up
I
for
like
an attack
Henri
against.
Tunis. It's yeah. If France was going after, or let's say France moves into North Africa and Western Med, you can just hold Tunis now.
Yeah, that's true. And unless he heads
Unless
into
he moved into Gulf of Leon, but
Goff
that's
as
unlikely.
well. So down here he manages to take Smyrna because Smyrna's supporting hold Constantinople.
Constantinople
Constantinople
supporting
supporting
Smyrna.
Bulgaria.
Wait, no. Yeah. Constantinople held Bulgaria while Smyrna held. Sure.
That's just a bad guess from the tech, right? There's not a huge amount the
Yeah,
tech could have done about that.
not much there. Not much to be worried about.
Yeah.
And then Austria was supporting Turkey into Romania from Bulgaria, whilst cutting Ukraine. So Romania was a certain capture for Turkey if Turkey knew that Austria was supporting him in there.
But Turkey didn't trust Austria because
Turkey didn't trust Austria because what I bet the agreement was, I bet Austria was telling Turkey to support hold Smyrna, so that Austria would take Bulgaria,
yes.
right? Whilst Turkey support held Smyrna. So Austria ends up in Bulgaria on the south coast, though. I can understand why Turkey didn't want to do that. Not want any part of this agreement.
Galicia is kicked back out again.
Yeah.
I think the Austrian player probably is the weakest on the board at the moment. They managed to convince Russia to go for it last round, but clearly
they didn't capitalize.
Clearly, their
I just
negotiations have been somewhat lacking this round. Um,
Yeah, maybe they just realized we can't trust anything this Austrian says. He's a
yeah.
lunatic. And then
So this is
called it a
something.
day.
This is something at a high level of play. People don't lie very often, at least in face to face, because once someone's lied, at least if they keep lying, you know not to trust them. You won't trust that person. You'll start working with the other people and crush them,
But
right?
everyone lies. Lying isn't. I
Yeah,
don't know, man.
yeah.
I'm
People.
bad at face to face. All right, I'm so bad at face to face. Like I
I
don't. This
mean,
is not why I'm good at the game because I
I
understand that when people lie to me, that's just the thing that they do, and I expect them to be honest in the future because people lie for temporary gains all the time. And so, but most people in face to face, once they lie to someone, they anticipate going to war for a long time with that person. And so, people in face to face understand this metagame, and so when they lie to someone, they only do it if they're willing to go to war for a long time,
yeah.
as opposed to online players who are much more willing to lie for like a tiny benefit here, and then just say deal with it.
I should
Um,
say I'm also not that great a face to face player, but we really needed to get Demon on here, right? But
Absolutely, yeah. Tanya would have been
unfortunately,
a
she's
valuable addition to this squad of motley diplomacy analysis.
unfortunately I think she's exhausted from traveling back from
Also, I
DC.
think she knew
Uh,
the outcome, and I think she knows all the centers. So she would be really, really good at move analysis this game. Let me tell you. All
yes, that's true.
right, you want to just get on to the
Um,
next turn? I don't want to look at the south anymore. I just.
yeah, this is just a
All right.
mess. Italy is the clear winner still here. Like,
Italy's a beast. Italy's a god. Knows everything that's happening everywhere. Italy's gonna dominate this board.
yeah, I still really like Italy going forward.
Yeah,
Uh,
this turn, Italy got a huge leg up over England.
all
Italy is
right,
clear number one.
so moving into the fall. Uh, have you advanced?
Yeah, we're just in some wars, buddies. Oh
Germany
lordy,
leaving Sweden open after having attacked
what
England.
a man! I'm so proud of that
I,
move. That move's awesome.
I, well, it worked. Yeah, I love
It
it.
worked. He took the North Sea.
He, yes, it did.
Took the North Sea in a war against England, and he can't defend Edinburgh. He retreated into the Helgoland. Okay, this England is a strong player. This England is a. Oh wait, no, he gets a build.
He
I take it all
does.
back.
Yeah,
I
he
take it all
got
back.
St. Petersburg.
This England is a random regular strength player. Um,
What?
I don't respect the Germany is he didn't tap. No, Germany you can't. Hmm. So in my opinion, no, yeah, Germany's moves were suboptimal. Germany needed to have Holland and Ruhr both attack Belgium. Oh, did he support the attack into Belgium? Was he going for like some
He was.
lunatic play? Yeah,
Yeah, he tried to take Belgium. I mean, it might have worked.
it
It's
might have worked unless North Sea tapped Holland, right? It beats every move except for the sequence where North Sea attacks Holland, and even in that circumstance, he still ends up in the North Sea.
yeah.
So it's a reasonable line.
Um,
But this opens him up, however, to losing Ruhr and having it disband like what happened here.
yeah.
Um,
He.
whereas by if he just double tapped Belgium everywhere and he cut North Sea, he can't lose Holland or Ruhr, right?
Mm,
If he has Holland attack Belgium, Ruhr attack Belgium, Munich attack Burgundy, and Skagerrak lose attack Skagerrak support Denmark in the North Sea, he can't lose Holland or Ruhr this turn, and he just keeps a stalemate for an extra turn. Now he doesn't benefit from a stalemate, right? Because England and France have more units than he does, and so he needs to try to make something happen quickly. I think that's reasonable,
yeah.
but it went badly. Losing Ruhr and having the English in Helgoland bite when you're not even in Denmark, and England gets a build, so Edinburgh is safe means Germany is done.
I also would
Germany's
not
lost.
be surprised if the Russian fleet stays on the board, just because he wants to
Sweden is a
keep
potential center.
some kind of credit. No, yeah, some. I'm running out of. I'm not able to speak at the moment for some reason. Just because he wants to keep some presence in the north. Because once you lose that northern fleet, the last northern unit, you're just giving up everything. Any
In
chance
the
of ever
north.
getting
It is
back
a
again.
fleet in St. Petersburg though, so not the end of the
Yeah,
world, but it's pretty tough.
yeah. I think the fleet
I
is
would
going
probably
to
disband the
stay.
fleet.
I think the fleet is going to
You would
stay.
disband Ukraine. You would
Um,
disband Ukraine instead.
I would probably disband Ukraine here. Yeah, it would be a gamble, but like this is top board. You're not
What
going
about
to.
discarding the Black Sea?
Hmm. It's an idea. Turkey can't really afford to attack you here.
Right?
Um,
Turkey can't do anything, and you're not likely to hang on to get to Bulgaria or anything. I
yeah,
don't know. I could see it, but I'm not particularly. I'm not fond of the idea. The Black Sea is just too strong a unit.
yeah. I think if you
I would disband
disband,
the South Coast.
I
Go
think
Bothnia.
if you disband Gulf of Bothnia, you give up your chance of first place. There's no way you ever break back out into the north again. Not with 4 units, with one of them being a southern fleet. Um, I mean, eh, it's debatable. I guess we can argue
I don't
about
like
this as
getting
it goes
eliminated. I
forward.
think getting eliminated sucks.
Yeah, but
Disbanding.
it is top board. It's all or nothing, right?
No, it's not.
Hmm.
You can like third place is the real thing,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
third place at the World Diplomacy Tournament top board is a lot better than eliminated at the World Diplomacy top board. So
That's true. Uh, I think
it,
they
it
do
depends what you're
need
going for.
to.
If you're going for win, I think it is a higher percent to win to disband the South Coast of the disband Gulf of Bothnia rather. But you're still what percent are you to take to survive if you have that fleet there?
Yeah.
Like very
I
low.
I think this is something slightly unrelated, but I'll talk about it for a second. I think the World Diplomacy Championship scoring needs to be amended slightly because the way it is right now, the top 7 people after the fourth round, I think it's the fourth round anyway, go on to top board. They get to compete for for the title of World Championship. Whoever comes out on top board wins the title of World Diplomacy Champion for that year. The rest of the players, their placement is determined by their score plus their score on the final board, and
Wait, what?
that means
Oh,
that
you're
they.
right. You're right. You're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So so you can get like second place by having a really good score, but you weren't even on the top board.
Yes,
Yeah, I
exactly.
think that's I think
Uh,
that's very wrong.
I think, yeah, it's wrong. It means that players on the top board who are against this incredibly difficult competition can just lose out on all the top places because they get eliminated here, and someone who was doing quite well but didn't make top board is up against a bunch of people who can't hold them back and manages to solo or something. Um,
Yeah, I agree with your analysis.
top 7 places need to be locked after the final round, right? Well, after the.
Yeah, I think it should be the top seven are going to be the finalists, and then the order you score on the final board is the top seven.
Yeah, but this is like scoring
But sure,
systems. This is
but this is
unrelated.
different
So,
scoring system, so who knows?
uh,
But yeah, I think Germany is dead. I think Germany is toast. Toasty, toasty, toast. He needs something. He needs a miracle. Um, like he needs
yes.
to find a way to get England to stab France. I
Yeah.
think that's his only out.
I
Maybe like
agree.
Turkey or sorry, Italy like doing something crazy against France, and then like France need to pull back some units and support holding Munich at some point. Maybe he can hold on like that, but I don't. This Germany player is in really rough shape after losing Ruhr.
Yeah. And in the south, shall we talk about the south? Austria attempting
Turkey's
to.
dead. Austria is like trying to weasel his way out of something. But
Austria's trying to support Bulgaria into Romania again. Like,
as
uh,
opposed to just tapping, and if Budapest had tapped Romania, he would have taken
no,
Bulgaria.
he wouldn't
Right.
have because Black is supporting
Black supported
Constantinople
Khan.
too.
Black supported Khan. Did he do that?
Yeah, Black supported Con to Bulgaria. Um, so it would have bounced either way. I guess it's just a
Yes.
pretend show of faith again. Uh, Tyrolean moving
Okay.
back to Trieste, that's interesting to me.
Yeah, the army is just moving around.
But
He's trying to be like I want to be here.
moving back to Trieste, it's not very useful for protecting it, in my opinion. Just because I think
No, it's just
Austria
home
would
war
attack it with two.
against the Juggernaut though.
Yeah, I think it's to fight back against Turkey and Russia here, or potentially gain Serbia if Austria pushes through.
Yeah, if they want to backfill or something.
Um,
I don't know.
yeah, so Turkey's going to be in
Last
an
turn.
absolutely terrible position next turn.
Yeah, I think Turkey is a little bit worse off than Germany, but not much even. I think Germany's position is just god awful.
I think Turkey's significantly worse in their position, but
Turkey has a solid ally in Russia, and it's still difficult to crack the rest of this nut, even with the fleet in Smyrna, right?
yep,
Progress is still there's lots of guesswork to be made every turn, whereas Germany's gonna fold like paper mache.
yeah.
This position is just completely untenable.
I'm wondering whether maybe it's better for Turkey not to disband Serbia here.
Sorry, you cut out there.
Sorry, I think it might be better for Turkey not to disband Serbia here. Uh,
For Turkey to
like,
disband Syria here, you mean?
sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I think disbanding Bulgaria is much better.
Bulgaria, not Ankara.
Disband Bulgaria. Oh,
Hmm.
yeah,
Like
Ankara is better than both. Yeah,
Ankara
it's not. It's a
can't.
fleet. Fleet Ankara is useless.
The only thing it's useful for is stopping Russia from deciding,
Stabbing, but who
yeah,
cares?
I can gain more out of this person dying, which might happen.
Yeah, it
Uh,
might. Um, but it also might not. I would stick to disband Ankara.
yeah. So anything else to talk about here?
Nah, we're gonna see Fleet Edinburgh. We're gonna see
Yep.
probably so Fleet Naples or Army Venice or Fleet
Hmm.
Rome because
It's
who knows?
hard
I'm
to
assuming Fleet Naples.
it's hard to decide here because Fleet Naples doesn't do a lot. It
It really
just
doesn't.
it,
Army Venice doesn't do a lot either.
I
Fleet Naples helps use the army in Tunis more.
yeah. I think though if you build Fleet Naples, you're committing to a war against France because France will start mobilizing those fleets, especially since
I don't know. The thing is, Fleet Naples is so flexible. You can still use it against Austria.
keep in mind here that France has just sort of openly committed to an alliance with England, so these fleets
True.
are ready to head into Italy as soon as.
And so more fleets is even helpful like, in the defense. I don't know. I would expect Fleet Naples over Army Venice.
I like Army Venice just because
All
you
right.
can move up and help Germany if necessary. You can move into Piedmont and disrupt
Sure.
France. Um,
I can see that. I can see Army Venice. There's
yeah,
yeah, maybe I like Army Venice more. I don't know.
uh,
I
well,
would build Fleet Naples. Stop thinking about it.
we'll see what the Italian player thinks. So let's advance. Oh, you were right.
Ha! Did I just call? Okay, I did not. There's an Army Edinburgh, not a fleet.
Oh boy.
What?
Uh,
Really? Oh man, this England player makes me so happy. Oh my god, what a man. That's crazy. Is that just crazy?
I'm trying to see what's. Well, I mean, another army
Okay, so
is
first of all,
better
Gulf
in
of
the long
Bothnia
run.
did go away. Gulf of Bothnia disbanded, so the north is clean
Yes.
from Russia. Russia can't touch it anymore.
Yes.
Anchor is gone. Naples is gone. Yeah,
Keeping
Army
that in
Edinburgh. Okay, so
mind,
I'm gonna take Russia then convoy. Okay,
I think Army Edinburgh is better in the long run, just because as England you don't want too many fleets, otherwise you won't be able to make progress inland. Um, if you just take the coast and get stuck on the coast, then well you're
one,
stuck.
two, three, four, five, six,
Uh,
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I count 12 dots that you can get pretty easily on
it
just the
is
coast
it
without
is
counting
still
Brest. So,
good, but
I mean,
but
that's probably a top.
if you want to stick with France, you need armies, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you don't need to stick with France forever. I think the army's probably the army's fine. I would just assuming fleet, but yeah,
Given
army's good.
how well Italy is doing, I don't think 12 will necessarily be enough.
No, but
But
14 is, and the 14 is going to be the north, the German
wait,
coastal
let's see.
centers plus Brest and Spain.
Is that 14?
Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2,
Yes,
3,
yeah, it
6, 7,
is.
8, 9. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it
Yeah, yeah,
is.
yeah. I've done this math before.
Although Portugal, Spain, I think it's debatable whether you get them, especially considering like Italy would be running to prop them up at that point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the point is, once you've gotten we're only at 6 centers right now, right? And so we can build armies later. We don't have to do them right now, but I think it's fine to build them now.
Yeah,
I think this is still helpful. It's still useful to take Holland and whatever, but
you can take
eh,
North guaranteed anyway, right?
yep. Assuming
Especially
the
with
French support.
France is yeah, if France is on side. Um, so Ankara goes. Yes, we called that.
Yep.
uh,
And then Gulf of Bosnia because Russia wants to stay alive.
yeah, I think I would have kept Bothnia in this scenario, but only because I would be in an all or nothing situation. If I
Yeah,
was
this
on
is why
top
you
bod,
die
I
in
would go.
Survivor, Captain Meme. This is why you die in
Let's not talk about that.
Survivor.
So like, if I was on top board, I would be playing for the win.
Sure,
I
I can
don't
see
care
that,
about
particularly with the rear
survival.
scoring system.
Uh,
And yeah, then Fleet Naples because Italy wanted to keep more fleets controlled.
yep.
Makes sense.
So shall we advance? Like,
Yeah, let's look at some moves. Okay, what do you think is the most unlikely move you want to call?
oh,
Because I think there's a good chance of it
I
happening.
just advanced it,
Good luck. Okay.
so I'll.
So I want to guess. I want to try to guess an Austrian move, all right?
All right.
Which is doing a familiar. But I predict Austria will support something into Bulgaria, say Russian unit into Bulgaria, Romania into Bulgaria. Let's do it. Let's go with it.
Right. You
Nope.
are incorrect.
No, Pita. He just. Why did he just? Okay, sure. Let's call it a day.
So nothing happens down here. Like literally nothing.
Nothing moved. Nothing matters.
Syria
Nothing
cuts
matters. Nothing
Smyrna.
matters. Nothing matters. Great.
Aegean
Nothing
cuts
matters.
Constantinople. Yeah. Black Sea
Great.
keeps
All bounce.
Bulgaria in
Nice.
place.
Nice. Just tactical moves. Russia is safe in the meantime. Yeah, Russia doesn't have to worry about the north at all.
Yeah.
Hmm.
These moves
Okay.
aren't even risky, right? Oh, I guess he could have lost Romania potentially. Um,
Yes, Romania was the only one that was at risk.
but yeah, it's generally quite a safe move set here. These two seem to be playing to halt the
Yep.
expansion, just rather
Yeah,
than
but
actually trying
now.
anything. In the north, Ruhr going into Holland. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
still here.
Okay.
We're into Holland.
I
Neat.
heard a strange noise.
Yep.
Uh, right. So England gets into the North Sea with English Channel and Norway supporting. Germany
Interesting.
tries to
No
go
English channel
to.
support enough.
Wait, Germany tries to go to Heligoland. Edinburgh moves out of Edinburgh, and Germany retreats there.
Yes.
Um, England will be able to kick him out, no problem. But I think the intention there is to put France in a position where he can just walk into London if he wants to, because England is going to have to use North and Yorkshire to kick Germany out.
Yeah, there's also some potential guesswork here because if Denmark supports Edinburgh into the North Sea and England attacks from the North Sea, that would bounce. And if England attacks Edinburgh from Yorkshire, the North Sea supports Yorkshire into Edinburgh, Denmark could instead cut the North Sea
You
for the
can
guesswork.
solve that by
So
doing
you would
Heligoland
need to have
attack
Helgoland
Den.
exactly. You need
Yeah,
to have Helgoland cut Denmark, but that means that Helgoland doesn't get to do anything with Kiel next turn.
I don't think it
Um,
needs to.
it
Not
doesn't look
yet.
like it needs to, but it definitely there's potential there, right? There's still guesses involved with like cutting Kiel, because currently Kiel can support hold Ruhr, and then there's still some. No, they can just take Ruhr.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
Yeah, they take her. Yeah. The Germany position is still untenable. Germany's still toast. That disband is critical. But there was also very little to be done. Right, Germany again. There was only the guesswork of Munich supports Holland and Ruhr as a guess this turn, but
Yeah.
Germany did the wrong guess. Meh,
I.
can't say which one I would have done. And then yeah, Germany's just toast,
Yeah.
toasty, toasty,
It's
toast.
just a 50-50 there. There was no way of telling which one they do. The Although I would argue that Rare moving somewhere is a lot more likely than it holding.
Sorry.
I'd argue that. Well, I'm not arguing with you, I guess, because you haven't expressed the opposite opinion. But I think that Rare moving was pretty much guaranteed. It was either going to Kiel or it was going to Holland. So supporting Holland into Rare would have probably been the better move, regardless. Like they'd expect Rare to be cut.
Yeah. I think it's slightly better, but there's probably something we're missing here.
There is the potential of.
These tactics are very
Mm,
complicated because Helgoland Bite. No, because you were cutting Helgoland Bite, it couldn't really be supporting anything.
mm.
Yeah, I don't know. With cutting Helgoland Bite, things are different. But this is the
Germany.
downside, right? Last turn by taking North Sea from Denmark rather than from Skagerrak. Skagerrak. This was the higher upside move, but because we couldn't force the disband of Helgoland Bite, we're in really awkward shape.
Yeah.
We, as the
And
German player here, and Germany is, I think, just dead.
Sweden is still empty, which is
It is
interesting.
still empty.
Um,
Norway.
it was pretty safe to bank on Norway
Wait, could
being
Norway
used to
support?
take North. I guess he was.
Really? I would not have guessed that. I would have.
Yeah,
Hmm. Why did he do that?
It's just in
Why
case,
did England do that?
just in
I'm not sure.
case France flips sides and supports Germany into London. I'd imagine. Um,
True.
yeah.
Yeah, seems reasonable.
Yep. Um, so
This is no one.
there's not
Um,
really a huge amount else to talk about here.
yeah, let's
Maybe
keep grinding.
Marseille
Hey.
moving to Lyon. Uh,
Well, last turn they agreed to bounce in Lyon, and so perhaps they agreed to do a similar thing this turn, but Italy wanted to get move out. Unsure.
yeah, Italy just going backwards and forwards with that Tunis unit. All right, so moving on to the
Yep.
fall. Uh, Edinburgh goes. Edinburgh gets disbanded on the retreat.
Yeah, they did the natural move with the one that guaranteed capture Edinburgh.
Denmark
They supported North Sea in there.
Denmark does not protect Sweden.
No,
That's
Denmark. What did Denmark do?
it's support held Kiel, which is I guess he was anticipating Holland.
Questionable. Very, very questionable. Norway had nothing to do but move to Sweden, right? Whereas Helgoland Bite had potentially other stuff to do.
Yeah,
Maybe Germany was making the bet that they would move Helgoland Bite to Denmark and have Norway hold specifically to
try and
counter try and bait it. But there's no need for that type of shenanigans here.
yeah.
Um,
I should
although to be fair, I would have had Helgoland Bite support. Would I have? No, I wouldn't have. I would have just taken Ruhr.
I think he's hedging on holding his home supply centres, right? That's why Edinburgh's gone. It's to rebuild in Berlin, an army in
Yeah.
Berlin.
After Ruhr
Um,
got disbanded as well, he only lost one center. So yeah,
France is setting up to attack England.
yeah,
Spain.
it's really interesting. They didn't the not attacking Ruhr from Belgium looks very difficult for wait, what did they take?
They took Ruhr.
How does I'm sorry, how does English Channel supports the North Sea succeed when the English Channel or when the North Sea moves to Edinburgh?
I think that's just a quirk of Backstabber. It's
Okay,
yeah.
sure.
Clearly
Um
it doesn't, but it's irrelevant anyway. Um,
yeah, so the big one is having so English Channel didn't take the North Sea. So it's still there. So France is not in a critical position against England.
yeah.
England gained just Sweden this turn. Um, oh no, France took Holland, so Germany doesn't get a build, right?
Oh, hang on. Look at the east. Russia takes Ankara. Uh, Austria takes Bulgaria. Turkey just collapses. Um,
Yeah.
Italy tries to support Russia into Constantinople, but that wouldn't have worked because Syria was
Anyways, yep,
attacking them.
that's fine.
So Turkey's just gone,
And
and
Ionian and Tyrrhenian Sea held. Neat.
mm, the the stalemate is somewhat broken here. I could see this being exactly like last year's World Dip Con Championship. Not last year, sorry, the year before that. 2016, where you got an AIR coming, like crushing Turkey about halfway through the game and then coming over to reinforce Germany against an England France. This looks very similar, actually. Uh, I hope they didn't link the wrong backstab. uh,
Um,
no, it wouldn't be the wrong backstabber. This is definitely different.
okay.
But yeah, uh,
Similarities.
France was a lot stronger in that game. But
Sure.
yeah, you can see France getting a better position here. Moving away from Italy, but they are definitely setting up a strong attack against England. The thing is, England has that army on their
Has the
island.
army on the mainland still, and Italy still got the fleet in the Tyrrhenian Sea, which makes committing hard to an anti-English attack very difficult.
Yeah, I mean the English army on the United Kingdom, well the island is huge because that has so much mobility in defending England.
Absolutely, particularly when
Um,
it's in Yorkshire.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't anticipate France attacking England anytime soon.
England just
I
got to
think this was just
build.
a way to try to appease Italy.
I see. This looks so horribly anti-England though. to move to Mid-Atlantic Ocean here.
True, but
But yeah, I
it also
guess.
means you're closer to North Africa still. Like it's not.
Hmm.
I don't know. It looks horribly anti-English, but I don't. It's not necessarily is. Um,
All right, so shall we move to winter and then do another power rankings, given that it's been 2 years?
yeah, sure.
All right, so let's see the builds. We have Army London. That's a defensive build. Um, just
Wow,
we have
so many armies.
Army Marseille, Army Berlin, Army Sevastopol. Remove Fleet Syria. That seems obvious. like, yeah,
I mean, whatever, man. You're down to one center. Pick a
yeah.
unit. Have fun.
Turkey's dead. Um, Army Sevastopol. Yeah, I mean, he's trying
Solid.
to not look aggressive towards England at the moment, I suppose. Uh,
Well, I mean, the armies. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's better than Moscow.
right. So power rankings.
Turkey or Italy one.
Italy is
England
definitely
England
one.
two. France three. Um,
I
Turkey
like
last.
France's
Germany second to last.
position more
More
than
than Italy's.
no more than England's. France is.
Hmm.
I'd put France number two at the moment.
Really?
I mean, they are
I
quite
think
heavy.
England's got much better growth potential. England's army in Belgium is behind the French center in Holland and has many retreat paths. Like Belgium is a huge pain for France. Um,
That's true. I
I don't
guess
I don't
France is kind of relying on England's assistance at the moment. Yeah, you're probably right.
I would much rather play the English position here than the French.
Mm,
Plus, again, there's that Italian fleet in Trinity Sea that I just can't get my eyes off. That's going to be impactful as
yeah.
soon as England decides to attack. Um,
Uh,
and that's not going away anytime soon. Like France is going to be stuck to that stalemate line once Italy does it. That was I think excellent play by Italy to just keep the pressure on France and stop France from committing to an attack on England or
yes.
Germany. Right? He just needed to keep fleets in the south for too long, which was just too much of a hamper on France's early growth. Whereas England had no such worry, and in fact was able to be more aggressive because of it. Um,
Yep. I
like
think
Denmark is going to be English really soon. Yeah, I love England here.
I could see Austria dying very quickly here. If
Yeah,
we,
I think Austria is worse off than Russia at this point.
I could see Austria potentially being killed before Germany if Russia and Italy just decide, right, we want to maximize our center count and then go and stop this Western expansion. Let's just crush in between us as quickly as possible and then go and hold Munich and Berlin.
That seems very viable.
Especially
Because
since Austria took a center but has nowhere to build. Um,
yeah, Austria's on five, but only 4 units, and that's not a good place to be.
yep.
A frequent problem for the Austrians, so we're clear. But usually you have to be very risky to make it work.
Yep.
And this Austria has been risky, but not, I think, in the necessarily best ways. Yeah, like this
Alright.
turn, this turn I anticipate Austria getting smacked.
So, in your opinion, Italy number one, England number two. I think I'd agree,
Yeah,
given
I could
the
even see Italy.
arguments.
I could even see England one and Italy two, but I think stick to Italy one right now.
Yeah,
Maybe I don't know.
I keep
Yeah,
Italy number
fine.
one.
Yeah, Italy won. Italy's got so much growth, easily accessible with nothing to worry about at all.
France three, Russia four. Um,
Austria.
I,
No, I think Germany
I
five, Austria
stick.
six, Turkey
Yeah,
seven.
I'd agree with that. Yes.
But it's bad. Like Austria and Germany are both dead. They're just fighting for their lives. I think. Like Austria has a much higher upside than Germany does because if Austria can convince Italy to not attack him for a little bit and let him make use of his extra centers and let him get these builds off, I think he's in fine shape. I just don't anticipate that happening.
Yeah.
All right, let's see the moves, right?
Alright. Yep. Move ahead to spring
Yeah. So I've got a little
1905.
less than an hour as far as timing.
Alright, let's hurry through the rest of these then. So in the south, we have Turkey actually getting supported into an Austrian center.
Yeah.
Uh, Russia.
The smacking. Whoa, Italy didn't. I'm sorry. He didn't do anything. All right.
What do you mean?
Austria's still okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, Italy didn't take Austrian centers. Just Russia did. And
hmm,
Italy supported Austria into or Russia into Constantinople. Um,
yeah.
but hmm.
We have
Interesting.
no support hold on Bulgaria here from Serbia. That's
Yeah, that seems okay.
surprising.
Um,
I mean,
wouldn't have made a difference here, but the fact that Italy
it
didn't
would have
take
made a
Crete,
difference.
only one support holder. We needed Budapest to also cut Romania for it to work, right? Because Aegean didn't support. Like, um, Italy wasn't supporting Bulgaria here.
Yeah, so
This is odd.
Serbia support hold Bulgaria would have worked, right? Because the Constantinople
Well,
went in with just Romania supporting. Um,
yes, it did. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I thought Aegean Sea was doing something else, but it was not. It was bouncing Ionian out of Greece.
yeah, I think I think we're gonna see Austria getting killed by Italy soon, but
But
not
he moved out of
until
Trieste and Tyrolia, not out of
yeah,
Venice and Tyrolia.
that's to keep Germany alive for sure.
But he
In
could
my
move into
mind,
Tyrolia from Venice still and accomplish the same thing.
he's keeping Venice there so he can move into Piedmont, but with support
But he
potentially.
didn't. I don't know. He
Like,
didn't move into Piedmont this turn. Why not?
I think obviously this sets up Italy to take Constantinople and potentially Ankara. Not Ankara because of its fleets,
Yep, fleet
but
nonsense.
but he could
Greece.
take Constantinople, I guess. So that there is that. But what was the point
Yeah.
of bouncing in Greece here apart from disbanding the Austrian fleet?
I think it was to disband the Austrian fleet.
Yeah,
I think he just didn't want any Austrian fleet walking around here, um, but still don't take a center. I think he just said, "I'm Italy. Austria having fleet is bad. Bye bye fleet.
do you think he
Now let's get
told?
back to working together."
Do you think he told Austria about it in advance? Maybe this was part
Maybe.
of an agreement.
I doubt it.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out. We
Yep, a lot. But let's look at the West real quick because the East is pretty clear. Italy's going to grow a lot. Russia's going to stay stuck in the stalemate, and Turkey's going to die pretty soon.
I
How
think
long Turkey lasts is unclear.
Russia might advance. Depends whether they crush Austria
They need
together
they
or
need
not.
a lot of guesses
Yeah.
to advance.
Well, it
Um,
depends whether Italy does decide to go in.
does anything helpful or not? I suppose if Italy decides that to just leave Austria hanging, then yeah, they can advance. But I don't know. That seems it doesn't seem like it benefits Italy to let Russia grow here, right? So a GNC doing something useful
Yeah.
is actually beneficial. I anticipate Ionian taking Greece while a GNC taps Bulgaria, um,
Yeah. Okay.
and then that
So
just stops everything. But yeah, so sorry from the west, we just have
France going back again.
yeah.
Uh,
So not anti-English, just positional moves. Um,
yeah.
it's
Like
fine.
a lot of positional moves up here. England doing some defensive stuff on Wales.
I
Just
don't
marching.
like the Baltic Sea. Do I like that move or not?
I mm, yes, I like it just because of how much pressure it puts on the home
Could have just
centres.
taken Denmark.
He, yeah, he could have done. That is very true. Where does Denmark retreat to in that case?
Baltic Sea?
Probably Baltic. Is that a problem? It
No.
might. Eh. The thing is, if you push it out, it retreats to Bothnia, right? And then you've got a problem on St. Petersburg, Sweden, potentially. You have to chase it down
Ish,
for
but
ages.
he's not gonna live. I don't know. Maybe.
Hmm.
Maybe you don't want him to retreat there, and this makes him retreat just to Skagerrak, where you still have a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Well, anyway, not a huge amount to say here. I think Italy's still in the best position. He's about to be in a position where he can interfere massively with the West.
Yeah, where you can just screw
Although,
France a lot. But that's just gonna benefit England, man.
although France moving back to Lyon and Spain is a bit
Right? It just
problematic for him.
it's still slowing him down. It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sticking to England. Sticking to England. I'm going back to England.
Yeah. Well, shall we advance and see what happened
Yeah.
next? Fall 1905. Alright, so
The stab
we've got a stab on France
that failed.
and a stab on. No, it succeeded. He
The
convoyed
stab
into
on he
Holland,
took.
success.
Oh, Helgoland supported. Sure.
Yeah, and France attempted to attack Belgium.
Yeah, France cut Belgium from Ruhr rather
Attempted.
than taking Munich. Huh.
So an
And
attempted.
England didn't take Denmark
He protected Sweden. I guess he had to protect Sweden. He
because he
was
moved there, right? If he'd instead moved in yeah, I
Hmm.
don't like this.
Uh, yeah, I'm not. Oh, we see in the south Italian stab on Austria, very strong stab on
Yeah,
Austria. Austria manages
with
to
Russian support. Yeah,
Austria
that's gonna
keeps him
be
out of Trieste, or maybe Italy kept Austria out of Trieste.
Italy
It's
kept
probably
Austria out of
more
Trieste.
likely. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Um,
then but Russian support into Vienna um
he lost this
meant
into
that
the.
he's lost Vienna anyways,
So
and Austria didn't even take Romania.
I think Austria got tipped off by the bouncing Greece disbanding his fleet. That Italy was
Perhaps,
maybe, or maybe he went and confronted Italy about that and got angry,
maybe
which
I
made
could see that.
Italy attack him.
Either way, Russia got his build. Russia got two builds actually from Khan and Bulgaria. Italy got his two builds from Greece and Vienna. England got his one build from Holland. Um,
Yep,
but
and
can England
France
successfully beat
France
France
has
and
to
Germany?
disband, but he had a forced disband in Holland, so he doesn't have a.
Yeah, Holland is gone.
Yep, um,
Yeah, I think England could just beat France and Germany even if they ally right here.
that's possible. But keep in mind, he St. Petersburg is fairly open, and Russia just got two builds.
True.
So it's fully possible Russia just goes up and
Tries to
hits
retake
England
St.
again.
Petersburg. I can see that, but Norway's kind of a free unit right now. You don't need it in the war against Germany.
Yeah, but one unit isn't enough, right, to keep two units back.
If Russia commits both units to it, sure. But I think Russia's got better stuff to do, like kill Germany, take some
Hmm.
free centers from the German,
Yeah.
or just push for more Austrian centers with a lot of his guys. I don't know. I am still. I think I don't like these. The English move this year made me curious. I'm not sure I agree with with the line.
Whose move? Sorry.
The British moves this year.
Yeah.
I think the second army build was overkill. Right, he has an army that just sat on the island the whole time.
I think that's
Um,
fine. It sets up for a late, better expansion later on, and it's very, very good at defending that
yeah, well, I
area
mean, he could have built a fleet and then still built the army when it was relevant. I don't know.
potentially. But what
It's
does he do
fine.
with the fleet here? He forces English.
He
Yeah,
could have like moved it, bounced it around or whatever. He could have support held North Sea with the fleet instead of having Norway sit there. So Norway could have moved to Skagerrak and been in a better position against Germany. Um,
hmm.
he could have set it up better so that he could have been in. He could have had a fleet move into Norwegian Sea this turn, then Barents Sea next turn.
If
So he could move
he,
that fleet into St. Petersburg to hold it against the Russian who got benefited. Um, it could have done more than hold. Is all I'm saying.
yeah, maybe. I still think it's fine having the army there. If you're intending to expand with it later, it works, and
Sure.
it's decent at
Let's
defending.
see the build and then
Yeah. So,
normal. I think Fleet Liverpool is going to happen.
yeah. Given that he's attacking
Great. And then
France.
two armies from Italy. Okay, makes sense.
Yep.
Seems good. It's a good way to get keep France off your back. Say, I'm going after not you. I'm going after Germany or Austria or Russia.
Yep.
Looks good. All right.
Anything else? The Russian two armies. That's the only thing he could have built.
Worst.
Germany,
Yeah,
Austria taking off Bohemia. Yeah, that makes sense.
natural.
Not really
Yeah. So Austria's
much.
dead, and then I think Italy is favored in the war against
Yeah.
Russia
Turkey
because of
is
the
gone
Southern
here.
Fleet. Yeah, Turkey's dead. The Southern Fleet majority is so
I
important.
I don't agree. If Russia moves Sevastopol down to Armenia, he just like he can
Okay.
very easily just hold Constantinople indefinitely against southern fleets, unless Italy sets up a convoy to Syria. That's something he could
Absolutely. And
definitely
he's
do.
got the numbers to do it.
Yeah.
Plus, just the Aegean Sea is so critical. I mean, we talked about it earlier in the war against Turkey, and now there's not. Now there's even less in Turkey to defend against it. Like Sevastopol to Armenia to Ankara is will help, but Aegean Sea is so good,
I
so
think
good.
there is a question here of whether Italy and Russia will actually attack one another. There is
I think it's pretty much forced.
I think there's a high possibility they just try and charge over the line together. Um,
I I think there's a chance they try it and then one of them stabs the other.
hmm.
I think there's just too much tension in the Balkans.
I guess the army's kind of forced that from Italy. You'd expect more fleets if more fleet builds or fleets in that
I would
direction.
expect at least at least a fleet, right? Like the fleet in
Yeah,
Rome instead of that would have been helpful. But I anticipate them. I anticipate there being a fight between Russia and Italy relatively soon, and I think England is going to come out on top in the war against France and Germany. And I think because there's chaos in the West, you can afford to fight in the East, and vice versa, right? If either one side decided they were going to work together and just try to push the other side really quickly, then you would see England and France put aside the differences real quick, set up the stalemate line, and call it a day.
yeah. Uh, I if Italy and Russia do attack each other, Austria is gonna be essential
Is relevance.
in deciding who wins that conflict. Yeah.
Absolutely,
Um,
absolutely. I think
so
those two
maybe
Austrian armies
he's
are
more
critical.
survivable than I thought he was. Uh, we will
I could see
see.
that.
Shall we advance to spring?
Yeah, I think they're gonna. Yes, if there's gonna be a stab, it's gonna be in the fall of this year, when there are still Austrian armies available to
Oh,
use.
okay. Yeah, Russia is attacking Italy here. Um,
Well, Russia supported some
Ionian
nonsense.
convoys Naples to Apulia. What? I guess he's just messing around with that. Um,
Neat.
yeah,
Yeah, the convoy to Albania is really good in the war against
it's not Albania.
Russia after the fact.
He convoyed it to
Yeah, I know.
Apulia.
That's why I was thinking like Albania is great in the war against Russia afterwards. So maybe this is his way of saying I don't want to fight you.
Yeah.
But man, it would be so good if it was in Albania.
I
Just
see. I like what Russia did a lot here.
I
I
don't like
like
I don't like Sev to
that.
Romania instead of
That's the one
Ukraine.
part of it that I don't like.
Yeah,
I would have
Sev needed to
preferred.
be in Armenia.
Yeah. If he's attacking Italy, that's kind of
He supported
essential.
Austria into Vienna. I think that's pretty clear.
Mm. Yeah. Sorry. I mean, yes, he wants to attack Italy, so he should have been in Armenia. Um,
Yeah,
the
interesting.
problem is clearly he didn't trust Austria.
Shock. Real shock. Never would have guessed.
But if you don't trust Austria like that, then can you really afford to? Mm,
Yeah, you can. You can take the risk here, but I think just the army in Armenia is too powerful. Because Italy's attacking you, right? It's so likely, and so Constantinople is falling this turn. You
yeah.
can't stop it, and so Constantinople's gone. It is an army in Smyrna, so Ankara is not falling next turn, which is good news for the Russian
Fleets in
player.
Smyrna, yeah. The Bulgaria is
Not an
empty
army.
right now, but it can be defended.
It can be backfilled, but what matters is Constantinople cannot be support held. If Italy wants it, it is Italy's. And here's
Yeah.
where the move to Apulia just feels so bad rather than a convoy into Albania.
He
Um,
still has the option to convoy to Albania next turn.
yeah, but he would have liked the army there now. He wanted there yesterday,
Yeah.
because then
Or,
he can actually move into Greece.
like, convoy into Greece would have been fine.
Convoy into Greece would have been even better, but
Yeah.
Albania is a safer option usually. Maybe not here. I don't know, but Italy lost a lot of his edge. I think with not
Yeah.
quite cutthroat enough moves.
Alright.
But retreats into Trieste. I would have. Do you like the retreat into Trieste as opposed to Bohemia?
Uh, no. Because,
Yeah,
Rome just went to Venice. You can fill up Trieste no matter what.
I agree. I agree. I
Uh,
think the Bohemia retreat would have been a more. It's better for outflanking, right?
yeah. Um,
Yeah, I would
Trieste
have preferred to see that.
Trieste is
That's fine.
saying, I want to sit here and make sure I keep
Yeah, Trieste
Trieste,
is
but
saying I'm okay with some nonsense, right? But I don't actually want to retake Vienna. But
I think
I want to retake Vienna.
Italy's committing very heavily to taking stuff in the south if he's doing this and just holding in the north. But
Yeah,
then he
to be
really
fair,
should
you
have
can't do that.
convoyed. He really
Right,
should have
exactly.
convoyed.
Yeah, I don't know. And then in the West, we have some nice tactics, right? We just have
Oh, God,
um,
this is a mess.
some tactical
Uh,
nonsense. Yeah, this
France
map is not the
supports
cleanest.
England's. No, no, no. France supports himself into Belgium. Yeah, sorry. I thought he was supporting England Belgium hold at the same time as attacking. But I've been corrupted by Austrian movesets to think that everyone's doing
Yeah,
something that doesn't make sense.
and then
Uh,
England made a nice little truce with Germany here.
yeah, he he takes Ruhr with German assistance.
Yeah, and he left Denmark alone, and Denmark moved into Baltic Sea, whilst Belgium moved into Silesia. Very,
Yep.
very good move from England.
England is
That's exceptional.
England is prepared to defend St. Petersburg here. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
and there's
fantastic.
also pressure on Russia and Warsaw, so he can't keep the pressure on St. Petersburg forever.
And
What is
at this
Belgium? What
point,
happened in Belgium?
Italy's fleet is just hurting his chances by making it like his Tunis fleet moves to Western Med, which hurts France again.
I think that's good.
And
I
but
think he wants
he
France
doesn't
here,
want France hurt, right? He wants England held back to
but
some
England's still
degree.
going to be held back, right? France took Belgium,
Yeah, that's true. I guess
and then
he couldn't
England
have predicted
retreated.
that Germany would have taken England's side here.
Absolutely, I think it looked like there was going to be a France alliance.
Yeah.
Um,
So he wanted to
but
go in
then
there and
England
harass.
dodged it. Yeah,
I would not be
for some
surprised to
havoc.
see that Italian unit moving back again next turn. Uh,
Absolutely. I mean, given that's all it's been doing so far, back and forth moves. So yeah,
yep.
I think the big missed opportunities were Sev to Armenia that we didn't see, and Naples moving to Apulia rather than Albania.
Yeah, and Vienna retreating to Trieste instead of Bohemia.
Yes, that one. Yeah, Italy took a big hit. So do
What?
you think your power rankings
Yeah.
changed in the spring?
Um. Let's have a look at the power rankings in the autumn
All right,
because that's what
I
we're
would say England
doing.
moved up a lot.
I think England is definitely top at the moment. Uh, so let's look at the fall. Right, England makes sure he secures St. Petersburg. That's fine. Russia kills Austria. Not quite kills. Very
There's
close to
still the
killing.
Vienna, right?
Mhm. Uh, he predicts that Austria is about to change sides again. I wonder whether him moving into Serbia was not agreed upon last round. Uh,
Seems plausible.
like
Very plausible.
Romania support hold Serbia is not something that would happen otherwise. I think. But
Yeah, that seems clean.
yeah, Austria down to one unit here.
And then that was just good. That was a very good sequence by Russia. Russia ended up gaining a net center because he lost Constantinople but gained two, so he still gets his build.
Yep.
And he then is pushing against Germany. He's in Prussia. Germany didn't go after Sweden. Ooh,
Well, at this point, Germany
yeah.
doesn't. Bear in mind, this is top board again. Germany wants to make a certain person win, probably. But at the same time, he's blocking England from taking Denmark. France makes a truce with England again,
I
I
would have
guess? I'm so confused here. What?
I would have wanted to
France takes North Sea. What is going on there? England, I guess.
oh, France England was assuming some
Yes.
convoy shenanigans,
But at the
and
same
then
time,
just got misguessed.
why is England going for Denmark if he's assuming France is about to attack him?
Unclear.
Do you see the Italian
Maybe thoughts agreed upon.
support in the south is great, stopping him from being able to stay in Gulf of Leon. Uh,
Yeah,
with
I
it.
see the support into Spain.
Yeah.
Good move.
So
Didn't cost.
this self bounce is a pretty common strategy for at high level play, making sure that you can keep two units where they're supposed to be and protect a third center between them. But if someone guesses what you're doing, they can support your unit back and stop it from covering the center. Uh, right.
Yeah, and then I think Germany should have gone after Sweden because it was so clear that England was going to need to defend St. Petersburg against the Russian.
Yeah, there was no way
And
he could
so
have defended
Sweden is a
Sweden.
way to get a build and get back in the game. Try to convert that into an alliance with France, particularly in this case after France ends up in the North Sea. That
Yeah.
seems like a good place to be. But instead, England's just in phenomenal shape again.
Yep.
Like he lost Belgium, but looks like France is okay now. At least he's in the North Sea. I don't know, man. Losing the North Sea is so bad. It's so bad. So bad.
Does England have a build? England has a disband, right? Because of Belgium. Uh, he does have a disband, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, England's position toppled really quickly. That's weird. Is it actually that bad? Is it the end of the world?
He can't protect Edinburgh. Oh, he can because he can just move things up
Fleet in North Atlantic Ocean is really good.
and kick whatever moves into Edinburgh out. Well, if North Sea goes into Edinburgh, so I suppose him losing North Sea isn't terrible. Uh, but it does mean he has to collapse back a lot of units.
Why wouldn't he go after Kiel?
I
I
like
didn't.
maybe Germany made an agreement to give him Denmark and then backed out
Maybe
of it, but
that's weird. I don't follow.
I don't know why did France go for and not well, okay, he didn't want to lose Burgundy to a German attack, I guess. Um,
Yeah, and I could easily have seen Germany moving into Burgundy this turn.
yeah, so he wanted to defend against an attack on Belgium. So he cuts north, he cuts makes sure that the only way England would get in is if he supported one of those two in, and if he does that, then France gets positional advantage. Uh, but yeah,
I think Belgium could have still tapped Ruhr in case Ruhr was supporting Munich into Berlin or Burgundy, excuse me.
yeah.
I think better do the scissors here.
All right. So shall we advance to the winter and then do power rankings?
Sure.
All right. How long have you got, by the way?
I still got like half an hour about.
Okay, good. So England takes off NAO. That's fine.
Pro French, very
Um,
pro French.
yes. France builds Fleet Marseille, which is pro-English. He's potentially planning.
Relatively pro English.
Maybe there was an agreement there to go after Italy, but bear in mind they don't get to negotiate during build
Yeah.
phases. So yeah.
And
Um.
then Army 7,
On,
Warsaw.
on.
Okay, that's the anti-Turkey. Finally, there we go. Or anti-Italy, excuse me.
Yeah, I like Army
Okay,
Sev. Um,
I do too.
he
Yeah, much more than
definitely
Fleet 7.
needs it here because otherwise he's left guessing whether Italy will go into Black Sea or Ankara. Um, this way,
He still has this guess. It's just not as frequent.
yeah, Italy convoying Greece over to Smyrna would hurt him a lot. But then he doesn't have anything to backfill Greece with, so
So you cut out again. Were you talking about Italy convoying Greece into Smyrna?
yeah, I think it would hurt Russia's ability to keep Turkey a lot, but at the same time, he wouldn't have anything to fill
Yeah, the
Greece with.
Balkans are
So
more important.
yeah, the Austrian unit at this point is essentially Italian, I think. Um,
I'm not sure. It's still, it is still a third party here.
it it
Very
seems
much a
like
third party.
it's on the
Oh, one big thing we
the
didn't talk about
Italian
was the
side.
Italian army getting into Bohemia. That was a big move.
Oh right,
Yeah.
what happened there?
Germany bounced Tyrolia. So Venice moved to Tyrolia, but it got bounced back to Venice. Whilst Italy moved into Bohemia. So
Right,
we didn't talk about that part.
so it was
Um,
positioning around Vienna
yeah,
essentially.
but it would have been much nicer if we just retreated Trieste into Bohemia last turn, right? Like we could have been more efficient about our moves. Um,
Yeah.
but oh well.
All right, power
And so from
rankings.
here, yeah, from here,
I like
Italy
Russia.
1, England 2, Russia 3,
I
France
don't
4.
I don't know if I would place Italy one. Ah, it's hard because Italy and England both dropped dramatically last phase.
They both got much worse, but I think they're still top dogs.
Right.
I think
So
France is
yeah.
still enough worse um, because of the Italians' constant shenanigans and then supporting him out of Gulf of Leon. Like, just the shenanigans are so severe.
I
But France is in North Sea.
okay. I'd say yes. It's the same order as before. That as you said, Italy, England, Russia, France, which is slightly different actually because France has gone above Russia. But the the main difference here is that they're all a lot closer together than they were before. Um,
Yes, they used to be England and Italy were miles above the rest, and now they're
yeah.
much more down to earth.
All
Um,
right. So
this war in the
and
south.
then and then it's Germany and then Austria, obviously. Austria is basically dead at this point. He's just acting as a
I don't
vassal.
agree with that. I don't agree with that. You can if Austria just needs to get supported into either Trieste or Budapest. That Austria gets to pick which.
No, because whichever he gets supported into, well, Trieste is probably better for him. but whichever he gets supported into, someone takes Vienna behind him, I think.
Not necessarily. If he needs to make sure it happens in the fall, and the tactics are such that if he supports Italy into Galicia in the spring from Bohemia, in the fall, Russia needs to work with Austria in order to not lose a center. Assuming Russia doesn't bounce out of Galicia in the spring, which
Hmm.
seems unlikely. And so, as a result, if he makes that move in the spring and Italy agrees to it, in the fall, he can support with either one, and whichever one he agrees to work with, he could potentially get a build. That is Austria's line back in the game. It's unlikely, but still,
Yeah,
still
especially
feasible.
considering the Austrian moves so far, I don't think it's going to work.
Yes,
But
I don't anticipate Austria sticking around.
l-
Um,
let's advance to Spring '07.
this war in the south is going to be interesting.
All right. It's not a war in the south. It's a truce.
They called it off. All right, good for them. They didn't want to deal with the tactics. Lame, so
Yeah,
lame. And
I
also like a truce in the north. Truce
yeah.
in the north.
I wonder if
Okay,
this was
just they call
triggered.
it truce.
I wonder if
Oh,
this was
this is
triggered
gonna
by the
be a lame.
builds. I think it was triggered by the builds. It's France building F Marseille and England disbanding North Atlantic
North
Ocean.
Atlantic.
It
Yeah,
signals an alliance there, and then
yeah, they called it off. So who's gonna grow faster, England or Italy? Who's gonna win? Because this game is gonna be EF versus IR, and who's gonna get the
how
most?
many are
I
they
think
on
England's gonna get
right
the
now?
most.
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven for England. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight for Italy. Italy has no expansion though. Sorry, nine for Italy if they take Vienna, which they are. Italy has no expansion. England is about to get two centres off of Germany.
England can grow from Germany, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Um,
Italy just can't grow from anywhere except for Russia, which seems like it'll doom Italy. And Italy's not going to get anything from France anytime soon, but France isn't going to do anything else. Yeah, and then England, yeah, that's my prediction.
France looks like it's committing significantly more heavily to the south than Russia is
Exactly. The
committing to
fleet,
the
the fleet
north.
there, absolutely. But Russia doesn't need to commit much to the north to not lose anything, right?
Yeah. Uh,
But no, I think England's going to win this one.
I
Too much German growth.
yes, like
He
England
got
just
he took
jumped.
Kiel, he took Denmark, and then Berlin is gonna fall, and France needs to commit more to the south against Italy, than Russia needs to commit against England, and so England has a better potential to stab France than Italy does to stab Russia.
It looks like Germany is suiciding as well, or at least just leaving his SCs for England to take.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, yes, the
I
Russia move into Prussia probably
triggered that.
made him say he's done.
Yeah,
All right, next moves.
yeah. So what's going on here?
Okay, the bounce in London.
This is like the really slow slog where we have not a huge amount going on. Um,
Yeah, there's just some cleanup. Germany's down to one center in Berlin. Austria is dead officially.
yep.
But Italy has no more room for growth, and England is going to take Berlin, and
Germany is
that'll think
still
will
key here because he can turn the tide of the war. He can put Italy into Munich if he wants to. No, he can't anymore because Italy moves
no,
into Piedmont. Hmm.
you can't. It's done
Italy's backing into a defensive position. Italy tried to bounce in Bulgaria to
in
stop
Bulgaria, but
Russia.
Russia just said no.
Yeah. Russia's in the power position in the south now, like very much so,
Yes, with Tyrolia moving to Piedmont.
which indicates even more that England will win because Russia can't
Because Russia
really.
can't make enough centers, right? Russia's only at like five or whatever.
One, two, three, four,
No, Russia's
five,
at more.
six, seven, eight.
Yeah,
They have a
Russia's at
reasonable
more.
number of
Russia's
centers.
Bulgaria.
I don't think they could take enough from Italy. Uh,
Enough from Italy to make it to beat England,
yeah,
and
and
that's what
Italy
matters.
definitely can't take any from Russia. Like,
Not at the moment, no. Ankara is the only one that's potentially weak, but he needs to get into Constantinople and then to Ankara to make it happen. And with the army in Bulgaria, that's not happening.
yeah.
No, I think yeah, England's gonna win this game.
All right, let's skip forward to go to
The
winter.
build, yeah, armies from England. Armies now I think are correct.
Yep.
Um,
You want
and then
more presence on the
yeah,
mainland.
you want to fight the stalemate line. And now I
Um,
think you stab France. I think you stab France right here.
right now,
Just do it. Yeah, right now. Belgium.
uh, it's not guaranteed. It is
It's
guaranteed
not
because
guaranteed.
it's not
It's not.
guaranteed, but it.
English supports were to Belgium, and then you don't take Belgium. But you can't, France can't fight the war. That's the
Yeah.
key. You need to do it right now. Before any whilst there's still this tension in the south, right? All of France's fleets are in the south except for the one in the English Channel, and you can take Belgium, and then that's all you need to win.
Yeah.
Russia can't do enough, and that's the game. That's the ball game, folks.
All right.
I'm
So,
moving to the spring.
if what do you think Russia will stab at the same time? Like Russia's got to go for the
Mm,
center run if England does, because there's no way he's gonna win otherwise.
okay, hold up. Is the game? Do we know the game's gonna end in 1910, or can the game go longer?
So the players did
Because
not
we know the
know.
game.
The players know.
Oh,
The players think it ends in either 1909, 1910, or 1911.
okay,
Those are the
9, 10, or 11. In that case, I think it's certain that you go for the stab at this turn
yeah.
because you want as much time as possible to get the centers.
1910 is pretty standard. Just I don't think I've seen a final board that didn't end in 1910, even though it's always supposed to end in one of 1909, 1911, or 1910.
I see.
Um,
Pseudo random. Okay.
so let's move forward to 08. And we do not have a stab on France yet.
We were convoying. What was English Channel convoying?
Hmm. English
Yorkshire
Channel.
to Belgium. What?
Oh, it's saying.
France. English Channel convoys Yorkshire to Belgium. Okay,
So
sure.
I've done that before. It's basically saying, okay, if you stabbed me, I saw it coming. It's just stating that, right? I didn't have anything to do with this unit. I'll write down this to show that if England stabs me, I knew it was going to happen. It's just that there wasn't anything I could have done about it. It's for show more than anything. Um, but he
Yeah, but
didn't.
this was good by England because
So it
now you can take oh no, Silesia support held Berlin, excuse me.
yeah,
Um
keeping Germany alive. But
I
he
yeah, I
can
would have
still.
convoyed into no, because he's in Livonia, right? So Berlin still falls.
Italy and
Stalemate's
Russia
no
are
deal.
sorting out their southern situation to
Yeah, they're cleaning it up.
not be in such a Russia-sided situation.
Yeah.
Swapping Bulgaria and Vienna, it looks aggressive at first, but it's very
No,
clearly
it's fine.
yeah.
Clearly agreed upon.
Uh,
And then Romania rather than the Black Sea is, of course, natural and agreed upon.
this is very much a stalemate
Stalemate line is
line.
fine, but it's not quite a stalemate because Berlin's still gonna fall,
Is
and
it?
Munich can't
It's
fall.
oh yeah, because
Yeah,
Saint Petersburg went to
Livonia.
Livonia. Um, France backing off the south is interesting. Western Med going back to
He
Spain.
was worried about the British step.
Yeah, it's not to Mid Atlantic, so it's not aggressive. It's just enough to say I'm worried about this.
Yeah, but
Uh,
I think those are terrible. I don't like that move at all.
I don't know
I think
what
it's trying to set up
Spain
a
South
stalemate,
Coast.
right? It's the worry is the stalemate in the south, and that's fine. Spain South Coast borders,
Oh yeah,
it's a little nice
actually,
because it can still support hold Gulf of Leon.
yeah, that's true. And then North Africa can move back to Mid Atlantic to support hold there, and then you've got a locked
Yep.
up border. Mm,
Makes well not quite locked up, but it's pretty tight. It's hard to break. He needs one extra unit, but that'll be fine.
yeah.
One extra unit in the short term, and then an extra unit for like the long term, guaranteed stalemate.
All right. So are
Um,
we still saying England's in the best position here?
Still saying England.
Yeah, even
Nothing's
though he
changed.
didn't stab.
Even though he
Um,
didn't stat, nothing's changed. Like he doesn't even need that many centers, right? Isn't he still at 3, 6, 7, 8, 9? He's still at 9, and nobody else is above 8. And
yeah.
he's gonna get Berlin, which brings him to 10, and then he needs to get just like a couple more, and that'll be the ball game.
Yep.
England,
So
England all the way.
let's go to fall 1908.
Hey,
France.
look, there's Belgium. All right,
Yeah, England stab
there's
comes in
Belgium.
here.
There's Berlin.
Clearly,
Um,
well, Germany gets Munich, stays
yeah,
alive
Germany
for
took
another
Munich.
round.
That's good. Yeah, which is potentially helpful. And ooh, Italy stabbed Russia.
Nice.
I think
I
the
don't.
taking of Serbia,
I
right?
don't
Yeah,
think it's
capturing
going
Serbia and the move
to.
to Adriatic.
I
No, I
don't
think it's
think
gonna
it's
work.
going to do enough. But
Not
I
for Turkey
think,
to win, not for Italy to win, yes, but it's he's got the advantage in the war here.
yeah, I think he needed to just to try and keep up to speed with England.
Yeah, it's
Um,
his last ditch effort, but it's not enough.
Especially considering
Yeah,
the game could end next year. If
yeah, it could end right now, right?
No, this is 1908. Sorry, it ends
But
at
oh,
the either at the
oh,
end of 09, 10, or 11.
oh,
So
okay, sure. But yeah, that's
yeah,
bad. Francis toasty toast.
France
Too many
knew.
armies on the border.
I think France knew it was coming. He makes sure that he
France suspected it was coming.
taps London just in case that gets convoyed over. But
In case there was a mistake, yeah, but it didn't matter.
there was no way that was going to
It's
happen.
all over.
Uh,
Norway held. That's fine, I guess.
yeah, not a
That'll
problem.
work.
Um,
What could France have done?
it's
So France,
Norway holding is actually really important because if Russia moves in a way that forces Livonia to move out, so Prussia moving to Warsaw and then Warsaw back to Moscow, something like that. If Norway
yeah,
had moved out, then St. Petersburg would have fallen.
yeah. That's the only question. Do you want it in Norway or St. Petersburg? And I think Norway's a little cleaner, but being in St. Petersburg is viable
Norway's more flexible.
at
It's
the moment. Yeah, with
just
Russian
better.
expanding, it's fine.
Uh,
The
so
argument against is having the army in St. Petersburg makes it easier to backfill into Norway, as opposed to being worried about being bounced when you move into St. Petersburg. Um,
mm,
but like
yeah,
if Russia got a building built in Moscow, it could be difficult to get into St. Petersburg and protect your interests, as opposed to having the army, the fleet in St. Petersburg right now means you could just convoy to Norway or move into Norway and then hold a stalemate line.
potentially.
But
Yeah.
it's Norway is the more flexible, certainly, just a little bit worse defense of St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
Want to move on?
Yep. Let's move
All right.
to the winter. All right, winter 1908. Russian Prussia comes off the board. I think that's fine. He
Disband
has to.
Prussia looks good.
At this point,
Um,
he's probably thinking, okay, England can win. I don't
England
care
wins,
anymore
right?
because I can't
Yeah,
win.
England's he's thinking England's won, but I need to try to get senators from Italy, and that's my only out.
Yeah.
France disbands fleet in Marseille
I
because
think
he
it would
wants
be
to fight
more.
England.
Russia would realize at this point, I can't beat England. But I'm not going to let Italy win after
Yeah,
he
right.
just stabbed
After
England.
Italy did this nonsense,
Um,
sounds good.
yeah, France disbands Marseille probably for the same reason. I want to hold off
Yep,
England as much as possible so Italy can win.
yep.
Uh,
But
we will.
that's not.
I could see France potentially trying to throw to Italy by leaving his back centres open.
Yeah, by leaving Marseille and Spain open. Yeah, absolutely.
But
That seems plausible.
that's
But I'm not sure.
Italy's only path to victory, I think.
Yeah,
But I think it
but England's
wouldn't
got
even
such a
work.
dominating position. I
Yeah.
don't even know if that matters.
Uh, like this is
Like Spurs
even
falling, Munich is falling.
this isn't a soloing position from England. I don't think he wouldn't ever get past 17, but he doesn't
Yeah,
need to.
he can't solo in here because you can't break Marseille, Spain, and Portugal. That line's invincible.
Uh, yeah,
Um, and
uh,
so you can't solo, but you can get to like 15. I think is the center count for the stalemate line.
yeah.
Without Moscow, oh, maybe without Moscow, it's even lower. Maybe four. Maybe I think it's
It's
14.
14, including Brest, Paris, Munich. Everything that he's
But he
got
can't take
so
Munich.
far. So 13 then. But if he, like, even if he took Portugal, Spain, Marseille, Munich, Paris, Brest, that's still not enough. He needs to take one of Warsaw and Moscow as well. Um, so let's move
Yeah.
into spring '09. Oh wait, we should do power rankings, but we kind of already
We
know.
did it. We were talking
Yeah,
about it. It's England
it's
one, Italy
England.
two, and everyone else is irrelevant.
Yeah. Uh, right. So
It's a war.
England supports
England
Russia.
supported Russia into Munich. That's a good way to get Munich. That's how you get Munich. Good, 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 good. That's smart.
Yeah, because now
Um,
he has 3 on Munich. There's only 2 enemy units next to it, assuming Italy doesn't. Oh, even Italy moved away anyway. Uh,
yeah, Italy supported into Tyrolia or Trieste, excuse me.
yeah,
And Italy's in Western Med now, and Italy's in Marseille. So yeah, Italy is doing the trying to get as much as he can from France before the game ends.
yeah.
Um,
France is outright
and
throwing. He's about. So Italy will get Portugal and Spain. He might.
Italy's going to get Portugal, Spain, and Marseille.
Yeah, all 3. That's nice. I.
That's a big deal.
I
Italy lost Serbia. and Italy is not in position to retake it safely. Yes, Italy can retake it safely.
Yes.
Okay, so Italy didn't lose anything in the army in no, it's not safe. It's not safe because of the support to Bulgaria. So there's a risk. Italy has to guess
Oh, yes, he
for
can
how to
push that
handle
way.
for how to handle the
See,
capture of Serbia.
I was gonna say I was kind of surprised that Russia accepted the support to Munich, given that
Given
England
the
was
position, right?
obviously going to take it, but at the same time, Russia probably doesn't care anymore. So,
Russia's probably pissed
uh,
out on Italy.
yeah,
So yeah, I
so
think
he's just
the Munich
throwing, but with
Treaty Carolia.
less directly than
Yeah,
France is.
well, he's not in position to throw as directly as France.
Yeah,
England would need to like convoy into Livonia from Berlin or for some shenanigans to happen like that.
yeah. So
So yeah,
we've
next
got
turn, we're gonna see a con. So there's a convoy threat, right? Into Liverpool or Wales. England has to guess which one France is going for. Um,
yep, or London even. Actually,
or
North
London
can.
even, absolutely. London is a little less. I don't know. I would never consider London. I think Wales or Liverpool are the bets. While Mid Atlantic Ocean still continues in the North Atlantic Ocean.
Actually, yeah, North
So
goes to London and Norway goes to North now because there's no way Russia is going to
sorry,
attack
what was
St.
that?
North goes to London and Norway goes to North now because there's no way Russia is ever going to attack St. Petersburg again. Uh,
Almost certainly not. Yeah. So yeah, with the army in Galicia.
and Livonia is in position to defend it anyway.
So yeah, I would guess that he is going after Wales. Yeah, I'd say Wales. He doesn't need to he doesn't need the units this turn, and so he can get into North Atlantic Ocean and then take Liverpool next turn if he takes Wales.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
yeah, so I
there
would go
there
for
is a chance Italy wins if
if France does makes a good war here, right? Absolutely.
and
That can
specifically if Russia doesn't directly throw to England. So I think England could still win if he does something like Baltic convoys Berlin to Livonia, and then
yes.
starts running into Moscow and Warsaw and stuff. That
Well,
would
they only have
basically
like
confirm his win. But
sure.
they've got 2 years left. Shall we move
Based on
into
we know the end date. Yeah, let's
the
see it.
fall? Yep.
Let's see what happens. And okay,
No.
Italy misguessed for Serbia and convoyed into Wales, so misguess from England. And he support held English Channel. That was good. That was correct. Well, up incorrect with the moves that England actually input, but probably correct to counter the Wales supports North Sea to English Channel sequence. That was very likely.
Yeah. I actually like Italy more now. I think they might win.
Italy did a lot. But again, Italy lost Serbia in the east.
They lost Serbia. They managed to hold on to Trieste, and that unit in Tyrolia is dead now. Uh, so,
Yes, Tiroli is gone. But Italy didn't gain anything, and
oh
Italy lost a center in the east, right?
yeah,
And
but
so as a result,
also
hmm?
Romania convoying, Black Sea convoying Romania to Ankara is a very real possibility here.
or just
Um,
supporting into Bulgaria, right?
yeah, they have to
Um,
guess, right?
exactly. They have these horrible guesses, and they could even just convoy into Ankara and then go after Constantinople. Like Italy's position in the in the east is untenable. And so even if Italy can get into Paris and Portugal, it's not enough.
Yeah, I
I don't think that's my count.
I am kind of surprised that England isn't just going for Warsaw and Moscow here. I suppose they want to keep Russia on side, just in case. It
Yeah, the convoy to Livonia is probably going to happen in the last turn of the game. So
probably.
probably this turn. If that, I mean, the units are still valuable. I am surprised he attacked from Ruhr rather than from Kiel.
Yeah, that makes no
That's
sense.
got to mean that he's going
Um,
after. That's got to mean he's going after Moscow next turn, right?
yeah,
That's got to be it because Kiel can convoy, but Ruhr can't, and Ruhr can't actually get any centers.
it's
Okay,
probably because he's expecting Italy to just bolster um,
sure.
France's defenses to the point that he can't break Paris or Brest on this side.
Yeah, makes sense. Let's
So let's
finish
go
last
forward
year
to the
real quick.
winter. Winter we have France disbanding 2 fleets.
Whoa,
Uh,
France blew up Irish Sea and Mid Atlantic.
Yeah, Mid Atlantic I was kind of expecting just because,
Yeah, didn't need it, and the army's better. Yeah, that makes sense.
and I guess Burgundy is just there to make
I would
sure
have disbanded
England
Wales before I
doesn't.
disbanded Irish Sea.
I
But yeah, it doesn't matter at this point. It's all over.
Yeah, and Russia builds Army Sevastopol. That's, yeah, Italy's
Confirm it.
Turkish front is just
Italy
gonna
can't win.
die. Um, so I think, yeah, England has this. It's gonna be close. Like, bear in
It's
mind
gonna be like
that
plus two centers,
Bre-
plus one, or depends on
Brest and Portugal can both go to Italy this phase. Even Paris can go to
Oh,
Italy this phase if.
Brest, Portugal, and Paris all go, right? And he can set that up, I believe, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
One,
10,
two, three,
11
four,
is the current Italian count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is the current English count. Uh, so, in order to counter the Brest Paris Portugal, taking England needs to take 3 on the other side. Which, actually, or Russia needs to push Italy back, which is more
Yeah, and
likely.
Russia is going to be taking centers from Italy,
Yeah.
right? Italy is going to gain 3 centers in the west this turn, assuming he gets all of the centers and France throws completely, which he can. Like France can set this up, so England can't do any, or so Italy can't do anything. Um,
Yeah.
Leon takes Portugal, Spain takes Brest, Marseille takes Paris. Call it a
Yep.
day. And then the only way that England could mess with that is by supporting himself into Burgundy and forcing a retreat. But even then, France can retreat into Picardy and then support into Paris.
Yeah.
To cover Marseille, France would need to move Venice into Marseille to make it a guarantee, which he can't afford to do because he needs that unit to fight in the east. So there is guesswork
Yeah.
for the last French center, but the rest of it is guaranteed for England.
Think
Um,
England takes
or for
Warsaw,
Italy.
Moscow probably this next year. Yeah.
Yeah, so Moscow
Um.
is probably right. Again, it's not
So
Russia wins. Russia chooses who wins. Russia's the
yes,
kingmaker, and it's as simple as that.
and Russia is going to choose England because that's what he's been doing here. Um,
Sure, I can see that.
Plus, if he chooses England, he can still gain centers against Italy.
He still
So
gains against Italy, right? And so he can't get second though
he
because the French is
breaks
throwing.
even.
But yeah, let's wrap this.
All
I gotta
right.
go.
So
All right,
spring
so
1910.
the spring, do we who's throwing to who? And the convoy, great, yeah. So everything is
Yeah,
going to
it's exactly as we thought. The French
yeah, the
is
convoy to
setting up
Picardy, yeah,
for
absolutely.
Portugal, Brest, Paris,
Yep. And then that's it. That's all that can happen. And then
and
England is getting Warsaw and Moscow.
yeah. But is Russia taking any Italian centers? That's the important part because
Let's say
otherwise it's a
key.
tie. Um,
So let's see. After the spring, he moved into Aegean, so Armenia goes for Serbia, so
so
Aegean needs to bounce Smyrna.
Vienna cuts
And
Trieste for
then it
sure. Yeah,
is.
we have Russia can take Bulgaria guaranteed, but he can't. He keeps Serbia guaranteed if he does that. Uh, I think
So
it.
he taps Smyrna, he taps Constantinople, he attacks Bulgaria from Serbia with support from Greece. And then he has Vienna tap Trieste, Budapest tap Serbia. This gets countered by Albania supports Trieste to Serbia.
Mm, it's still a guessing game down here. I think, like it's a very Russian-sided guessing game, but it's still a guessing game. It's
Why
either
didn't Russia move into Tyrolia?
I don't know.
Oh, dude,
Like supposing hold
that would have been.
supposing
Yeah,
hold
that
is
was
weird.
why was there anything in Tyrolia?
Nope,
Was there?
nothing in.
Yeah,
There used to be
that
a
move was.
German unit, but not last phase.
Yeah, that was a wasted move. Okay, so yeah, that's the it's a
So
guess.
it comes
Guess
down
it's a tie
to
or how much he wins, right?
yeah, it comes down to a guessing game. Yeah,
Between England and Italy.
yep. So shall we move into the fall and see who won? This is
Whoa, wait.
so England takes two. France actually
Yeah,
stops Italy from
France
taking it.
stopped Italy from taking centers. Okay. Wow.
So I wonder if that was good negotiation on the English part, just making it
Yeah,
with France
maybe.
at the last
Just
moment.
convincing France you don't and Italy doesn't start to win this game. Because Italy guessed well in the south.
Yeah,
Italy
Italy.
actually took Serbia and didn't lose
Uh,
anything.
They didn't take
Oh no, we
Serbia.
didn't. Budapest support held Serbia. Excuse me, Budapest
Well,
support held
they
Serbia.
held on to
So yeah,
everything, so it would have been a tie otherwise. Except
so it would have been a tie
they didn't go to
if France had given the centers, but France did not choose to give the centers, so it's not a draw.
Italy didn't go to Paris either, so that would have
It
been
didn't. It wouldn't have mattered. Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
So
Sweet.
we end with England 14,
English
France
win. Italy 2.
2,
Yeah.
Italy 12, and Russia on 6. Yeah.
So I now know that the English player was Andrew Goff, and I know nothing else.
Oh, nice. Yes, he is a very strong player. I've played
What a
against him
man!
at
That was amazing.
the
That was
championships
an
in
outstanding game.
Australia. But yeah, it was
So yeah, the
fantastic.
Austrian player, I had no idea what was going on with him the entire game.
Yeah, very
Um,
confusing. Uh, yeah,
I suppose Austrians can be schizophrenic in high level games,
the
relatively.
I think yeah, it was just a problem of too much pressure. It felt like a lot of his moves were a little bit he didn't think them through well enough, and a lot of them misordered as well, which is a problem. Uh,
Yeah, a couple misorders, a couple unnecessary holds and support holds.
but yeah,
Yeah, okay. I need to see the player list. I want to know who the Austria player was, so I can
this
mock
is
them instantly.
Andrew Goff's third World Championship title, I think. Um, so that means he's won more than anybody in history, which is
The
pretty
Austrian
impressive.
player was Joseph Wheeler.
I have
Oh
not
wait,
heard
hold
of
up.
him
No, it wasn't.
before.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
No.
No, it wasn't. Never mind. Never mind. That wasn't the top board. I think at least.
Um,
Yeah, that's Tempest Teapot Heat 5 Game 1, which I don't think is the top board.
no, I don't
Anyways,
think
I,
so.
I gotta go. I don't have time. I'm out
All
of here.
right,
So
see
yeah, this
you.
was fun.
Yeah,
This was a blast. Nice analysis.
yeah. And I hope
Don't
if
think
you're
I that I was talking about most of the time.
it was great to have you on. This is going up on the Diplo Strats channel, so if you're watching there, hi. Um,
Oh, is
and
this going on the Reddit?
it can go on Reddit. I'll post it there, I guess. um,
Are you allowed to post your own content on the channel on the subreddit?
yeah. There's a 10-to-1 rule, so if you post 10 things that aren't your own content, then you can post one thing that is your content. That's the
Okay,
general rule for
so
Reddit.
I found an image for the seating arrangements, but I don't actually know who sits where. I think
Right.
Adam Sigal was Italy, and Bill Hackenbracht was the Austria player.
I don't know
Um,
those names.
yeah, that looks correct. And then Brad Biltstein was the Turkish player. Ruben Sanchez. Here's the image.
I know Ruben Sanchez. He was in the top board in the year I went as well. Player. But yeah, I can't show it at the moment. I will post this in the description in
Okay,
the YouTube
see you guys.
video. And thanks for joining us. This has been fun. I hope you could stand, well, me in particular rambling, Ezio providing very good commentary for the last however many hours we've been doing it. And yeah, I hope to do this again sometime.